bad news for those rooting for lower interest rates. This morning's report shows inflation remains well above the Federal Reserve's target.
The CPI for last month showed an uptick in both the headline and the core readings, and analysts say tariffs on imported goods are likely behind the rise. Prices for all items were up 0.3% between May and June and 2.7% higher year over year.
Correspondent Jim Ryan says the Fed would like to see that rate fall to 2% before cutting rates. We're going to see how this morning's report affects the markets when the bell rings on Wall Street in about 30 minutes. Well, it is runoff day, and it's begun in the race for a seat on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Democrats Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits face off in the statewide race to see who will face Republican incumbent Fitz Johnson in November. UGA political scientist Dr. Charles Bullock admits PSC members play a major role, even if you don't know them by name.
They affect every one of us. They set things, particular example, our electricity rates come through them.
Yeah, turnout for the race has been very, very low, with just 0.4% of all Georgia voters actually casting a ballot so far. Atlanta police continue the search this morning for whoever stole valuables from Beyonce during her 4-show stop in the city that ended last night. Someone broke into a rental car of her choreographer and made off with unreleased music and video footage, along with other items like designer clothes. Break-in happened at a parking deck on Krog Street and was captured by surveillance cameras. Police hoping footage and fingerprints from the scene will help lead to an arrest eventually. Well, Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight at Truist Park. The Braves' Ronald Acuna Jr. will get the start in left field and bat second, while first baseman Matt Olson will come off the bench for the National League. Olson fails to make it out of the first round in last night's home run derby, but says in his experience he will never forget.
The reaction of the intros and then the support during the round was awesome.
And Seattle's Cal Raleigh wins the home run derby. Meanwhile, Truist Park now has a space for fans who get overwhelmed by the ballpark noise, starting with the All-Star Game and going into the second half of this season.
It's called Braves Haven. It's a new sensory room located on the Lexus level at Truist Park. The MLB's April Brown says this will help expand access to fans.
We are our best when we have everyone coming to our ballparks.
Access to the room is free and will be managed by guest services attendants. Danielle Badesi with the Braves says this is a great addition.
And we're really excited to be able to offer this and make baseball more accessible for all Braves fans.
It's all part of $4 million in community legacy partnership projects with the MLB for the All-Star Game. In Cobb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
And we all may have someone in mind for this story. Some singles are looking to have a fairy tale ending courtesy of Disney. A dating app titled Single Riders will look to match Disney enthusiasts based on their love of certain themed movies and parks. The app's developer says it's a chance for Disney fans to plan dates at different parks, discuss Disney-related interests, even build platonic friendships, if that's what you want. He says the app is in the testing phase right now, but he hopes to launch it soon for all those Disney fans. It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start with Triple Team Traffic. Here's Smile Mark McKay.
John just saw Georgia State Patrol haul all lanes of I-75 southbound in northwest Atlanta to get a crash to the shoulder. It is there now. The HOV lane is back open. In fact, all lanes are open now. 75 south approaching Morris Mill Road exit 254. Still going to be slow back at I-285. Rugged ride out of Woodstock toward Roswell this morning. Highway 92 eastbound with a crash past West Wiley Bridge Road. The delays through Norcross continue. Ashley Frasca.
Just under 40 minutes still headed out of Duluth on 85 South between 316 and 285. Backed up in Norcross, the traffic lights are flashing. Jimmy Carter Boulevard at South Peachtree near Buford Highway. Construction setup. 85 South before Hamilton Mill and 316 West at Riverside in a right lane. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 96. Watching for scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon into this evening. Some of these storms may be capable of locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up storm, high 95.
It is 79 degrees now in Lithonia, 79 in Dallas, Georgia, 81 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Seems going to be another scorching Tuesday here in the A. Mark Arum and crew providing you with plenty of information over the next 3 hours. And For the fourth day in a row, we have Paul McCartney tickets to give away. Going to do that at 11:37, so make sure you're listening then. A lot to talk about today. We're going to update the Russia-Ukraine war. Again, during the show yesterday, had the press conference with the Secretary General of NATO and President Trump. A big, big boost for Ukrainians when it comes to fighting their war with Russia. We're going to talk to Patrick Ravel from ABC News in London and go in-depth on that. Scott Slade is going to join us live at 10:35 as he does every Tuesday, and he's going to be talking with John Smoltz about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, as you heard Judd mention, which is being played tonight at Truist Park. And Judd, I've been okay thus far. I missed all of the festivities, All-Star Fest, the Home Run Derby, the Futures Game. By the way, Deborah, do we know? I know Shelley Winter replied all to the company-wide email on
yes,
the All-Star Fest ticket. Did he get those tickets? Did he get to go? Do we know?
Oh, I don't know if he actually went. I didn't see anything on his socials about him being there, and he's usually pretty good about posting that.
If I was in charge of company tickets, like Heather is, and if you reply all to the email, you're not getting the tickets. So, but maybe Shelley went. But I've been okay. But now just hearing Judd talking about the All-Star Game, I'm getting FOMO about tonight.
Oh, about not going?
About not go. I've never been. I was talking to our boss, Ken Charles, yesterday. He's been to 3 All-Star games.
Really?
I've never been to a Major League Baseball All-Star game.
I haven't either. I went to Home Run Derby back in 2000, and it was so much fun.
Last night's Derby, I stayed up too late watching it. It was one of the best Home Run Derbies I've ever seen.
It's really good.
Poor Matt Olson. Twitter was on fire. Eddie Perez was not the best bullpen batting practice pitcher for Matty O yesterday. But I'm now, it's settling in. I'm now have FOMO, and I'm scared to even look at what the ticket prices are.
I was going to say, I wonder what the secondary ticket
and you know I'm a ticket snob, Judd, so I don't want the Clark Howard seats. I want the I don't know. It's very exciting that the All-Star Game, and by all accounts, I have baseball card friends / nerds that have come into Atlanta and they have just been raving about the events. Yeah,
like the Battery and everything?
The Battery, the All-Star Village, whatever you call it. I mean, just everything. The Braves in Major League Baseball have really, really shown this weekend, and now the FOMO's settling.
I like the Home Run Derby because you get to see how far these guys can hit it. You watch Braves games, and it's just unbelievable.
O'Neal Cruz hit a ball out of Truist with 518 feet.
I jumped off my couch when he hit that one. I was like, oh, my gosh, never have I seen somebody hit that.
It was crazy. All right, maybe, I don't know. I as an adult that has to get up at 5 in the morning, I shouldn't go to the All-Star Game tonight, but I might be on one of the ticket apps today.
If you get a couple tickets, let me know.
You can't. What time do you get up? 1 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go unless you pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, All-Star Game is here. Again, Scott Slade is going to talk to John Smoltz about the All-Star Game here in Atlanta. Hall of Famer John Smoltz, I should mention, coming up after the news at 10:35. All right, let's start with the Epstein story. Joining us from ABC News, correspondent Will Staken. Will, Mr. Epstein still making headlines from beyond the grave. The Epstein files continue to eat up the news cycle. Any indication that this story is going to go away anytime soon?
Well, I think, talking to some of these, MAGA influencers, and these are some of the most loyal and fierce supporters of the president, they're going to make sure this doesn't go away. They view this as a core issue, for their support of the president and his administration. And it's not just, it's kind of bigger than Jeffrey Epstein. It's, a lot of these folks think that and believe that there's elites around the world and especially in the country that have been getting away with, heinous crimes for years, and that Donald Trump would be the one to, unveil that and hold people account. And so now that, Donald Trump and the Attorney General are saying, in terms of Jeffrey Epstein, there's nothing to see here, let's move on, they're going to revolt. This is a core belief for their support, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
What has the Attorney General Pam Bondi said, and why aren't these MAGA influencers believing what she's saying?
Well, I think what they're believing is it's kind of been all over the map. If you recall, back in February, the Attorney General at the White House, where a few of these MAGA influencers were invited for an event, she showed up to the event and handed out binders with the words Epstein Files Phase 1. And, there's nothing really new in there. It turned out to be, at least from talking to the folks that were there, the influencers that were there, it turned out they felt like it was a publicity stunt. And they felt duped. Then a few weeks later, the Attorney General was saying that they'd be releasing documents soon, and there's a truckload of documents that that is going to be backed up to the FBI, and that the client list is on my desk to review. And then now all of a sudden, weeks and weeks later, the Attorney General, based on the review, is saying, look, there's nothing else to see. We're going to move on. They feel duped. They feel like there's something more going on here, and so I can't see it. I can't see them stopping.
Will Staken from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. Dan Bongino did not show up to work on Friday, but did show up to the office yesterday. Does that mean he is going to stay in the organization and maybe bury the hatchet with Pam Bondi?
Well, I think we're going to have to see. I mean, from what we were told, things were really heated last week. Bongino comes from this MAGA influencer world, and so his credibility, he's going to have a career beyond the White House, and his credibility with the base is obviously something deeply important to him, and he has been one of these folks for years who has been vocal about Jeffrey Epstein, vocal about wanting to get the information out there. And my understanding is he's just been completely upset and infuriated by how this has been handled overall by the administration. And so, yes, while he showed up, yesterday, we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, a lot of moving parts right now, a lot of hurt feelings, and a lot of people, screaming from the rooftops on the internet. And it's going to keep continuing, I think.
Final question for you, Will. Is there anything Congress can do to get these files released?
Well, it's funny you say that, because before Kash Patel, who's now the FBI director, got that role, he was demanding that Republicans, do something in Congress to get the Epstein files and get the, subpoena and issue subpoenas and launch an investigation. And, certainly the Oversight Committee could launch an investigation. But you're not seeing that, right now. The bottom line is the files and what we know and what has been investigated is in the hands of the Attorney General, the FBI director. They have the information. And, from what we've said, from what sources have told us for years, that there really isn't a client list that, a lot of folks have been obsessed with. And so I think that's kind of what's happening. It's almost like the dog caught the car here. And, the folks that have been claiming that there's all this incriminating evidence that needs to be released, maybe they got inside, and that's just not the case.
Will Staken, ABC News. Will, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
As I said yesterday on the show, because I know Democrats are they're just salivating, saying, "Oh my God, Trump's on this list or in these files, and we got to release them." But as I said yesterday, these files were available during the Biden administration, and you don't think that the Biden DOJ, if President Trump was in and heavily implicated in these files, they would have released it? Now, one of two things is possible here, that there is a lot of incriminating evidence. We've heard about videos and client logs and email. That could be a thing. And there's some massive, massive names in there that are being hidden. Or there's really nothing to it. There are some evidence, but nothing incriminating, and certainly nothing that would take down any leaders of the free world or people of import. It's got to be one of those two things. And if it is truly a bombshell, how can neither administration release it? Who is so untouchable that they're like, no, we can't do it? And why is Elon Musk still harping about it? I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know. And I have a feeling we are not going to find out exactly what, if anything, is in these, quote, Epstein files. Kevin Liptak at the White House with reaction from the White House.
Well, I'll tell you what they're not saying, which is that there will be more coming on this, which is what we just heard from Lara Trump. In fact, the entire gist of the Department of Justice memo that started all of this was that this was case closed, that we wouldn't be hearing any more on this matter. And essentially the hope and expectation here at the White House is that this will all essentially just sputter out, that the president's supporters will listen to his entreaties to put this matter to rest, and this will all sort of dissolve into the ether like so many Trump controversies before it, at least with one subset of the president's outraged base, which are the people who actually work for him. That does appear to be what's happening. Dan Bongino, the deputy FBI director, who threatened to quit over this last week and didn't show up to work on Friday, was at the job, was in the office yesterday morning after some back and forth, the president and his allies trying to work and massage the situation with Bongino to get him back on the job. But we should say that Bongino has said previously he doesn't particularly like this job at the FBI, and he does appear to be working to maintain some credibility with the audience of his podcast, which he had previous to this job, on which he peddled so many of these conspiracies regarding Jeffrey Epstein. And at the end of the day, it is this question of credibility that seems to be at the center of this. President Trump is someone who used these conspiracies to cultivate his political base, but now that he's president, he seems unable or unwilling to give the answers to his base that they were looking for when they elected him president. Listen to one of those supporters, the Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, talking about this controversy.
A lot of people in MAGA, they really want to know more information about the people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And is there a blackmail list? And are there foreign countries' governments involved? And there's nothing wrong with people continuing to ask that.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. I'm always honest about what's going on. And yeah, this one has been pretty big.
That's Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously from Congresswoman from Georgia. I don't know, but I would imagine that on the ground, MAGA supporters are willing to let this slide. But I think there are heavy influencers like Bongino, like Kash Patel, who's now the head of the FBI, that campaigned on this and made this such a big story heading up to the November election that there are probably a lot of folks that bought in hook, line, and sinker that this Epstein file revelation would change the dynamics of everything. Kevin Liptak mentioned that Lara Trump made a comment on it, and she did. I don't know if it was on Fox News or where, but she did say that she suspects that there will be a release of some of the Epstein files. That's the first time we've heard from anyone in Trump world, the Trump orbit, that there might be some more files upcoming. I'm curious to see, though, and I asked Will Staken this from ABC, can Congress push some buttons and pull some levers? Would Marjorie Taylor Greene be the one to head that up and be like, hey, we need transparency on these files? I did find this on social media. Speaking of Bongino, Kash Patel et al., this is them prior to the election and President Trump's reelection, talking about the Epstein files and what they want to have happen.
Please do not let that story go. Who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? Black Book. FBI.
That was Kash Patel.
Who? That is that. I mean, there's.
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black?
So, I mean, that was all pre-election. Now, did they get into power and say, oh, I guess there is nothing there? Or did they get in power and go, oh, there's names on here? We don't. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. But obviously, I don't think this story is going away. But Dan Bongino back at work today. Lara Trump said that some files might be released. If they are, we'll let you know. All right, coming up, we'll update our top local stories. First, though, got to check that Tuesday morning drive around town on this All-Star Tuesday. What can you tell us, Mike Shields?
Yeah, Mark, if you're making your way through Cobb County right now, still seeing the brake light 75 southbound, leaving South Merida Parkway, working your way down to I-285. Really filled up in Gwinnett County, though. 85 southbound, leaving 316 Duluth, making your way through Norcross, trying to get down to 285. Long-standing crash still on the right shoulder of the I-85 south ramp, the 285 westbound. The support is brought to you by Sam's Club. There's still time to enjoy locked-in summer value at Sam's Club till July 22nd. Prices are held over 1,000 items. Join now and make the most of summer. So sign up for a membership at samsclub.com/join. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Is your summer vacation going to be a week at the beach?
Oh, yeah!
That week at the beach could be yours if you win $1,000 on $1,000 Thursdays.
That's awesome!
It's $1,000 Thursdays on WSB.
Your chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Thursdays.
Listen for the
I just
keyword.
put the keyword in, and my God.
At WSBradio.com or on the WSB app.
Oh, my word!
Get all the info at WSBRadio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays this Thursday.
From 95.5 WSB.
Where Atlanta wins.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Little story to tell you how spoiled I've been with Xfinity Internet. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Went out of town for vacation and stayed at the hotel. And like, oh, free hotel Wi-Fi. Just enter your room number and your last name and you're hooked up for free. So I did it, and oh my goodness, it was so slow. So I turned that network off, and I found Xfinity Wi-Fi was available even out of town. That's right, Xfinity Wi-Fi, over 20 million Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. 20 million. So while I appreciate the hotel offering me free Wi-Fi, it paled in comparison to Xfinity. And don't get me started about my in-home internet with Xfinity. Super fast Wi-Fi. I get it in the kitchen, in the basement, in the bedroom, in the backyard, in the front yard. It's game changing. If you require, nay, insist on super fast internet, you got to jump on board, my friends at Xfinity. Game changing internet from Xfinity. Learn all about the internet offers available to you right now. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today.
What you walk on in your home should be wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michael, proud founder of Authentic Hardwood Flooring. Your summer vacation is going to be awesome, but coming home to those floors won't be. While you're gone, let our highly trained installers transform your space. Just imagine coming home to beautiful new floors. Our promise is to make your flooring process painless. Our focus is to make it perfect.
Authentic Hardwood Flooring offers high-quality craftsmanship with an exceptional customer experience. AuthenticHardwoodFlooring.com.
Summer is awesome, but have you been staying cool? Ashley Frasca for Ragsdale, the heating and air company I've trusted in my home for years. My friends at Ragsdale care about your family's comfort. Go online to ragsdaleair.com to make an appointment now. Take advantage of a savings of up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. Plus, Ragsdale is your family's go-to for dependable plumbing and electrical services, too. Schedule at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
We stand today on the edge of a new frontier, the frontier of the 1960s, the frontier of unknown opportunities and perils.
65 years ago today, as heard on WSB Radio, John Kennedy of Massachusetts, the senator, accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for president. That was during the DNC in Los Angeles, California. 65 years ago today, as heard live on WSB. We've a very cool local story. I don't know about cool. An interesting local story. You might remember we talked about it last week. There's a story that someone's just scooping up homeless folks and dropping them off in Cornelia. Deborah was able to secure the Cornelia city manager. He's going to join us live after the news at 11 and explain what the heck exactly is going on there in Cornelia. So very excited to get information on who's doing this and what the motive is. Just pick up random homeless people and drive them up to Cornelia and just drop them in someone's front yard. So that's coming up after the news at 11. Real quick, Deborah, you know I like a good jail story. A local jail smuggler has been busted. A 19-year-old kid. What was he trying to smuggle into jail?
Yeah, so he was busted trying to smuggle in contraband. This is over at Fulton County Jail, and a deputy was doing the rounds, saw him trying to pass stuff through a jail window. They got 686 grams of marijuana, 27 packs of cigarettes, 8 packs of just loose tobacco, 6 cell phones, 8 cables and blocks, 5 lighters, bolt cutters, a crowbar, bag of green liquid. It doesn't say anything about what the green liquid is. Also, 4 bottles of blunt spray, don't know what that is, and a handcuff key, all trying to smuggle this into a window.
Oh, I mean, that's a lot of stuff to try to smuggle. Vinny, try to figure out what blunt spray is, and we'll get an update from you next half hour. You want to smuggle into jail, you just got to watch Goodfellas. They'll show you. Karen. You just, you tape the salami to your thigh, and you put and you just tip the gun, and you get in there. Henry Hill didn't ask for blunt spray, though. I want to know more about that. Vinny will check for that. All right, when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, major movement in the Russia-Ukraine war. Tom Dempsey from News Nation joins us live next with the latest.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Men, are you having problems performing in the bedroom? Do pills like Viagra and Cialis leave you feeling frustrated? Well, now there's new hope for men who suffer from ED and PE problems. Meet Dr. Katz, a specialist in men's health.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your sexual potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Guys, don't let the anxiety over your performance get you down. We can get you back in the game. Call Choice Men's Health today to find out how you can eliminate ED on the very first visit. Call 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Arum. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at ReliableAir.com.
It's officially time for Zero Res's annual summer sale. Take advantage and get 15% off all cleaning services. Mention Chris Chandler to secure this deal today or book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res. All they leave is clean.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, tens of thousands of Beyonce fans flocked to Mercedes-Benz Stadium during her 4-show stay in the city that began late last week. But we're getting word this morning about a painful end on the final night for some fans.
Crowds flooded into the Vine City MARTA station as thousands were leaving the Beyonce concert at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Witnesses say panic broke out when someone, apparently startled by an insect, started screaming and running, sparking a chain reaction on a crowded escalator. The sudden rush caused the escalator to accelerate quickly and then stop. One person suffered a broken ankle and 7 people were taken to the hospital with cuts and scrapes. Several others were treated on site. The escalator's manufacturer is now investigating the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Now, this follows news of a break-in along Krog Street of a rental car belonging to Beyonce's choreographer. Among the items stolen were unreleased music and videos. Atlanta police say they're going over surveillance video and looking at fingerprints at the scene as they search for suspects. It is 81 degrees already in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says chance of pop-up showers goes up this afternoon into the evening. Some possible strong downpours as well. Otherwise, look for partly cloudy skies. Going to be humid. High once again reaching the mid-90s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, the flames are now out at a DeKalb County home where exploding bullets prevent firefighters from getting too close.
Arriving crews at the home on Malvern Boulevard and Stone Mountain tried to fight the flames from the outside, but DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels says they hit the brakes on their efforts after hearing those exploding bullets, all caused by exposure to the heat.
This is one of those things where it doesn't happen often. All the stars have to kind of align for something like this to happen.
The roof of the home also collapsed during the incident. Once the explosion stopped, they got close enough to put out the flames. No one was inside at the time, and no injuries are reported. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Tucker residents heading to some of the city's parks may soon pay some extra fees as the Tucker City Council approves a new fee structure to raise prices for some parks and rec facilities. Finance Director Beverly Hilton says some places and activities will cost $5 more.
The modest increases that are intended to offset some of the increases in operation costs.
She says the updated fee structure is also needed for community growth and increased staffing needs. And checking this morning's Consumer Price Index report for June finds inflation rose last month 2.7% compared to the same time last year. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says it shows increased tariffs are finally starting to cause price increases in the U.S.
And we see it most specifically in the food part of this survey. Coffee prices up by 2.2% in just 1 month. Citrus prices up 2.3%.
The Federal Reserve has said it wants the rate to be at or below 2% before it will okay rate cuts. And it is 9:33 as we check your money. No negative impact from this morning's CPI report. The Dow opening up about 20 points. S&P is up about 0.5% as well. NASDAQ is up almost 1 full percentage point here for your Tuesday. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Joe, we've had numerous issues on the south side perimeter traveling 285 eastbound. The outer loop leaving Boulder Crest Road exit 51 this morning. It looks like brand new trouble now once again happening and delays as you leave I-675. So watch out for the brake lights trying to get to I-20, the East Freeway. Also seeing the brake lights fill in Lawrenceville. Roadwork set up once again at the right lane. Highway 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway really impacting the ride quickly out of Lawrenceville. You can use Duluth Highway or Sugarloaf Parkway as alternates. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 96. Scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening hours. Some of the storms may produce locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s.
Hot is the key. 84 degrees already in Lilburn, 84 in Union City, 83 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Do you trust him?
I trust almost nobody, to be honest with you.
President Trump, in an interview yesterday with the BBC, does he pressed Vladimir Putin after yesterday's press conference with the NATO Secretary General? I would say no. We'll update that story. Tom Dempsey joins us live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
All right, so picture this. I'm pulling up to the house after a long day, and I almost thought I was at the wrong place. The siding was sparkling, the driveway was spotless, the deck looked brand new, and the roof looked like it had been replaced. Well, what had actually happened was I had booked Wise Guys Pro Wash to come by while I was away, and boy, they had crushed it. One call, a quick quote, next day service, and they didn't even need anybody home. They're not blasting your house either with high pressure or a box store pressure washer. Wise Guys only uses the best equipment in the industry. They soft wash everything, so it's safe on paint, trim, siding, everything. My home from top to bottom looks brand new. We actually had company that weekend, asked if we had renovated. Nope, just one visit from my friends at Wise Guys Pro Wash. If you want your house to shine for the summer, do what I did. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com before they fill up.
Has your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore and they raised their prices? Mark Aram here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. They protect the outside and inside of your home. It's the bugs inside you want gone. So if your pest company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Has your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore and they raised your prices? Scott Slade here from my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. They protect the inside and outside of your home. So if your pest company is doing less, charging more, you need Breda to protect the inside and outside of your home. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm disappointed in him, but I'm not done with him, but I'm disappointed in him. So we had a deal done 4 times, and then you go home and you see he just attacked a nursing home or something in Kiev.
President Trump with an interview at BBC after the really big press conference held yesterday at the White House with President Trump and the Secretary General of NATO joining us live. Well, he's gone now. He's gone. I don't know what happened. We got him? All right. Oh, there he is. Tom Dempsey. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm having some problem with my software here. Tom Dempsey from News Nation. Tom, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Good morning. I was saying I'm here. I'm actually at the White House right now, standing not too far away from the West Wing right now.
Excellent. All right. So, we were monitoring the press conference live during my show yesterday. A lot of big headlines coming out of that press conference. Where should we start?
Well, 2 things. First off, lots of frustration right now inside the White House. President Donald Trump very frustrated with Russia and Vladimir Putin because, he said several times on Monday that he's had several conversations with Vladimir Putin, the leader of Russia, good conversations. And then, minutes later or hours later, he'll hear about fresh rounds of attacks and drone launches and missile strikes against Ukraine from Russia. So there's a lot of frustration inside the White House right now. And, President Trump has referred to it many times as Biden's war. He just wants to see an end to this war right now. It's been very expensive for the United States. At least $60 billion has been provided in military assistance alone to Ukraine. So President Trump really wants to see an end to all of this. So that led to this, announcement yesterday, this new push by the Trump administration to try and bring Russia back to the negotiating table and truly get a ceasefire. And what does that look like? Well, there's a 50-day deadline now in place for Russia to find some sort of a ceasefire deal with Ukraine, or its trading partners could face severe tariffs, 100% tariffs, doubling the price of imports into the United States from countries that do business with Russia, specifically, countries that buy Russian oil and gas. Could see these tariffs, and if our listeners out there are wondering who could be impacted by all that, India and China in particular could be impacted by those tariffs. So that's a 50-day deadline in place facing Russia right now. But also very important to note, too, on the war front with all this is that President Trump announced a deal with NATO, several billions of dollars for NATO to buy U.S. military equipment that could then be transferred on to the Ukrainian war front lines for Ukrainian forces. And that includes things like Patriot air defense systems, which are very badly needed right now by Ukrainian forces with all those drone launches and missile launches coming from Russia. So President Trump really wanting to see an end to the war. And it's very important to note that this war really has not slowed down at all. In fact, it's only gotten worse, really, because the UN Human Rights Mission in Ukraine reported that June was actually the deadliest month for civilians in Ukraine over the last 3 years.
I want to circle back on the tariffs in a second, Tom, but let's talk about the military aid. From where I was sitting watching the press conference live, it seemed like the NATO Secretary General was downright giddy about the amount of stuff that the president agreed to sell to the European nations who then transfer it to Ukraine. We're talking about possibly game-changing munitions for Ukraine here.
Absolutely. I hate using that word bromance, but, they do seem to get along very well, the NATO Secretary General and President Donald Trump. And, for listeners out there, think back a few weeks to that NATO summit that got a lot of attention. And if you didn't follow it closely, a huge thing that came out of that was a big push by President Trump to get other NATO countries, over 30 of them make up NATO, allies in Europe as well as Canada and the United States. A big push by President Trump to get them to pay 5% of their GDP towards defense spending. So, fast forward a few weeks to Monday when they announced this deal, NATO has a lot more money now, or can at least count on a lot more money coming in, and that can help pay for billions of dollars in U.S. Military equipment that could then be transferred to Ukraine. So the NATO Secretary General, going back to that word bromance, I think they get along very well. This helps NATO. It helps the United States, and President Trump making it known that NATO's going to be buying 100%. Paying for that 100% of that military equipment.
Yeah, and I think that bromance is important, Tom, because, President Trump, I don't want to say he's been anti-NATO, but he has certainly not been pro-NATO in the last 6 to 8 years, right? And I think what he's seeing in Russia, Ukraine, and the importance of NATO may be changing his tune on the United States' role in NATO moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his biggest argument has been pretty simple. He just says people need to be paying their fair share. It can't be just NATO depending on the United States to pay for everything and some of the other big countries to pay for everything, while, countries like Spain or Greece or, there's 30 countries that make up all this. And he just wants them to pay their fair share, and sort of that pledge, doesn't necessarily guarantee that everyone will follow it, but he got that pledge of 5% of GDP to go towards military spending with these 32 countries that make up NATO. And that's huge because that gives NATO billions of extra dollars to spend. And we're sort of seeing that play out right now with this deal to buy billions of dollars in U.S. military equipment, which could then go literally straight on to Ukrainian front lines. It speeds up delivery, too, that they can get because the stuff might be in Europe and they can go straight to the front lines. And very crucial stuff, like we said, with the Patriot air defense missile systems.
Yeah, and President Trump he said multiple times, NATO's paying for it. The United States is not paying for it. We're just providing it. So obviously, billions of dollars coming into the U.S. economy there. Tom Dempsey from News Nation joining us live in the Mark Arum Show from the White House. All right, circling back to tariffs, because when it was announced yesterday, I was trying to follow during the press conference. I didn't know exactly what it was, but basically these will be tariff penalties for folks that are doing business with Russia, specifically gas and oil. And I assume China was going to be one of those countries, so we might have more tariffs on China. But you mentioned India as a country that could be hit with these additional tariffs. I didn't know they were still doing business with Russia.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's 100% tariffs that we are talking about if any country continues to buy Russian oil, gas, or other exports. So, a dependency on Chinese goods. Think about that with some American companies right now. That made in China label that you see. When we're talking about 100% tariff imports coming in from China to the United States, that could double the price just by doing business with Russia and buying Russian oil and gas. That can double the price of something. And again, some of the hardest hit countries that could be part of this are China, India, like you said, and Brazil. So this is sort of meant to, give a threat to not only Russia, that this could hit you, Senator Lindsey Graham described it as a sledgehammer. That could be, economic sledgehammer to Russia for trade, but it could also impact other countries doing business with Russia. Like we said, China, India, Brazil. So all of this, at the end of the day, for listeners trying to make sense of all of this, is just to get Russia to the negotiating table, find an end to this war. President Trump loves to call it Biden's war. He badly wants to see an end to this. He thinks it's costing way too much money. And so all of this, at the end of the day, the NATO deal to get weapons to Ukraine, these 100% tariffs against trading partners of Russia, the whole goal of this is to bring Russia to the negotiating table and bring an end to the war in Ukraine.
Final question for you, Tom. Any big events scheduled at the White House today?
Nothing today. I believe the president's traveling to Pittsburgh for a special event that's happening today. So starting around noon Eastern time, it'll be pretty quiet around here. President Trump leaving to go to that event. But, there's going to be some big things to monitor when it comes to Russia and the response. One very important voice we have not heard from is Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see sort of what Russia says. Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky said he spoke over the phone with President Trump on Monday, describing it as a good conversation, but it'll be interesting to see sort of the response we see from Russia as well.
Tom Dempsey, great stuff as always. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you.
There you go. We'll have more on the headlines yesterday at a press conference and a really change of a paradigm change and shift in the Russia-Ukraine war. Joining us live now from Texas, CBS correspondent Chris Fox updating the flood recovery. Chris, how you holding up, my friend?
Good. Yeah, I haven't started building an ark yet, but the idea has crossed my mind.
More rains in Flood Valley.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Just give you an idea, I was looking up the average rainfall in Central Texas in July, and it was slightly higher than I anticipated. It was 6 days. We're going on 11, and we're only at the 15th. So, this is unbelievable. And we're looking at more again, especially in Kerr County, and where recovery efforts have been stalled now for a day and a half, almost 2 days. It's interesting. Yesterday there was a press conference in Texas Department of Emergency Management. Chief Nim Kidd talked about how they were sending swiftwater rescue boats teams down to Uvalde, Del Rio, and Concan because that's where kind of the shifting of the flooding is moved to. Monday it was heavy, a little bit in Kerrville, a little bit along Kerr County, but mostly heavily up north of there. The Lampasas River, the San Saba River. Lampasas 33 feet, San Saba 27 feet. I mean, it's unbelievable. The water's just sitting on us.
Can't catch a break. Yesterday on the show, the updated totals, the tragic updated totals, Chris, 132 dead, 160 still missing. Have those changed in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, Governor Abbott yesterday afternoon. And generally, we get them every afternoon, the updated numbers. Governor Abbott said it was 131. But then the missing in Kerr County was 97. And that's a significant drop from what they were showing before. And that could be several reasons. That could be people thinking that somebody was missing. Because the way they're calculating the missing is literally people calling in and telling them that they have relatives or friends or family or whatever who they can't account for. And so hopefully a lot of that is getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And that people were, identified and found later that weren't in the flood, didn't survive the flood, but weren't, And so that number is 97.
Well, that's good.
There are also, I think, 3 others missing from areas around here. Travis County, which is Austin, has 7 deaths. No, 9 deaths. Yeah. No, 9 deaths and 3 missing in Travis County. I mean, these would be amazing stories, just horrific stories, if it weren't for what's happening in Kerr County.
Yeah, it's speaking of Kerr County, Chris, saw some new reporting that that the owner of the Mystic Camp right now, the now famous Mystic Camp, got a flash flood warning the night of the tragic flooding, and then an hour later, after getting that warning, started to the evacuation process. Can you confirm that?
No, and it'll be interesting to see what comes up next week, because subcommittees in both the Texas House and Senate are meeting for the first time. There's a special session called of the state legislature, and so they're headed back, and they start next week. And July 23rd is the first joint meeting between the House and Senate subcommittees on the flood. And it'll be interesting to see what they come up with from there, because as you saw from a lot of the press conferences early on from Kerrville, they didn't want to answer that quite a lot of the questions about the alert system, and so they just kind of dodged it. Even the governor did. The governor saying, that's what losers talk about. Losers talk about blame instead of moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see what quote unquote experts who are called to testify tell us next week, and I think I'll feel more comfortable after hearing some of that testimony before I can kind of commit to what I think. It's just, I guess the line is we're 5 minutes into this still.
Yeah.
And so
obviously, still the focus is on recovering those missing, along the banks of the Guadalupe. Chris Fox, CBS News, thank you again for your time. Really appreciate your coverage on this tragic story.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling.
There you go. Chris Fox from CBS News been doing really good stuff for us there, updating the tragic story. Yeah, I saw that reporting that the owners of the camp got a flood warning and then didn't take action for an hour later, but Chris cannot confirm that reporting. But obviously a major story we're going to continue to cover here on 95.5 WSB. At 9:50 now, let's check the Tuesday morning ride around town. Any current hotspots, Mike Shields?
Yeah, Mark, we do. We have one on the south side perimeter with the crash still working 285 eastbound. The outer loop past Boulder Crest Road exit 51, jam back to Moreland Avenue. Also starting to have a negative impact on 675 northbound, trying to ramp onto 285 eastbound. Slow and go still. 85 southbound, bumper to bumper as you leave Highway 316, working your way down to I-285, leaving Duluth through Norcross and down to the perimeter. Road work in Lawrenceville 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway. The support is brought to you by Georgia United Credit Union, ready for a financial partner that puts you first. Discover the difference at Georgia United Credit Union. Visit gucu.org/join, insured by NCUA. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the jam cam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits are squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Oh, there it goes again. I think old Rusty's had her last ride.
Aw, I think you're right. It's time to let her go. But what if she could still do some good?
What do you mean?
Well, we can donate it to the Tommy Novus Center.
Really?
They take old cars, running or not, and use the proceeds to help people with disabilities find jobs.
So instead of Rusty just sitting in the driveway, she could help someone who needs a job?
Exactly. And donating is easy. They pick it up for free.
That's a great idea.
Donate your vehicle to Tommy Novus Center and help people with disabilities gain meaningful employment. Visit TommyNovusCenter.org to donate.
If you're ready for real European car lovers to work on your Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, discover Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. And for a limited time, get a free second opinion on repairs when you mention you heard about Wolfpan on the radio. Search Wolfpan Auto Repair to get started.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Only inches separate you from the heavy rain trying to infiltrate your home. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your old roof is leaking, think of Findlay first. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof replacement experience. Water inside? Worried about recent heavy rains causing damage? You'll always win with Findlay. Schedule a free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
9:55 on the Mark Arum Show. Reminder, right after the news at 11:30, we're going to give away more tickets to see Sir Paul McCartney at State Farm Arena November 2nd and or 3rd. Coming up, coming out of the break to some breaking news, Deborah. Longoria declared it for some reason Bagel Tuesday. So I was like, all right, I'll provide bagels for the staff. So I give my Uber Eats app to Vinny. And Vinny orders, and I know you're not a foodie, Deborah, but I want your opinion. He orders a turkey sausage, egg and cheese bagel, but on a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Oh, Vinny, what are you doing?
You would get kicked out of a Jewish deli with that order, Vin.
Okay, it's like sweet, like some syrup or something. I don't know. It's a good flavor.
Yeah, on its own.
By
itself. You order that by itself without anything else on it. I give it to you.
I don't mess around with the cinnamon raisin or the blueberry bagels, but if you're going to do it, then just get it with cream cheese. You don't put turkey. Anyway, Vinny's out of the running for star of the show. I just wonder if I'm going to get dinged by Uber Eats. Like, oh, we thought this guy was legit.
Yeah, your Jewish card is going away.
I'm surprised they didn't call me to verify. Like, did you fat finger this?
He called his mom to get him on. I was like, well, of course your mom's going to be on your side.
No, Vinny, I'll teach you the ways of the world, my friend. Anyway, apparently it's Bagel Tuesday now, so I'll provide bagels every Tuesday, Deborah. Let me know if you want anything. All right, we're going to step away for news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, speaking of the Russia-Ukraine war, drones are becoming increasingly important in warfare in the 21st century. The amount of drones that we produce in the United States is going to shock you. We'll go in-depth on that. 10:35, Scott Slade joins us live. He is going to have a conversation with Braves Hall of Famer John Smoltz, talking about the All-Star Game here in Atlanta tonight at 8 p.m. at Truist Park. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Let me tell you, folks, Breda has got the bugs beat at the Arum house. Hey, it's Mark Arum, and my local friends at Breda Pest Management know my house inside and out. They've customized a unique treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. And let's face it, we live in Georgia. We have bugs. We have a lot of bugs. We have critters. We have a lot of critters. We don't want the bugs and critters inside our home. That's where Breda comes in. With Breda, always a familiar, local person servicing my home and answering my calls, never an irritating automated call center. And the folks that come to my house, they're friendly, they're nice, they do an amazing job, and they care. Breda cares more and will work harder for you. They're our neighbors, and they've invested in our community, and doing it better is what the Breda family does. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Got a leaky pipe, heating, or cooling issue? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. We're not just the helpful hardware folks, we're the helpful home service and repair folks too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, the licensed and insured experts at Ace Hardware Home Services are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Online at aceHardwareHomeservices.com or call 770-233-7787.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. At 10 o'clock, I'm Veronica Waters. News this hour is brought to you by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. WSB's top local story. Not sure if it was a bee that disrupted Queen Bee's fans after her Atlanta finale show, but it was an unfortunate end to a fun night of music for some fans.
Crowds flooded into the Vine City MARTA station as thousands were leaving the Beyonce concert at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Witnesses say panic broke out when someone, apparently startled by an insect, started screaming and running, sparking a chain reaction on a crowded escalator. The sudden rush caused the escalator to accelerate quickly and then stop. One person suffered a broken ankle and 7 people were taken to the hospital with cuts and scrapes. Several others were treated on site. The escalator's manufacturer is now investigating the incident. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
It's 87 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards is expecting partly cloudy skies, a humid high of 96. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. The U.S. Labor Department says inflation rose last month to its highest level in 4 months as the cost of gas, food, and groceries increased, reversing several months of cooling price pressures. These folks sure have noticed.
Everything seems to be more expensive.
I can't believe how much everything has gone up. It's ridiculous.
Beyond frustrated. Makes no sense.
It's gotten a little out of control for too long.
The economists now are looking to find out how much Trump administration tariffs are affecting prices. Mr. Trump promised during last year's presidential campaign to immediately lower costs for American families. New this hour, the DeKalb County firefighters are talking about flames now being out. They're confirming at a home where exploding bullets kept them from getting too close.
Arriving crews at the home on Malvern Boulevard and Stone Mountain tried to fight the flames from the outside, but DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels says they hit the brakes on their efforts after hearing those exploding bullets, all caused by exposure to the heat.
This is one of those things where it doesn't happen often. All the stars have to kind of align for something like this to happen.
The roof of the home also collapsed during the incident. Once the explosion stopped, they got close enough to put out the flames. No one was inside at the time, and no injuries are reported. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A new report says President Trump has encouraged Ukrainian President Zelensky behind closed doors to ramp up strikes in Russian territory. This report is coming from the Financial Times, reporting that he told Zelensky to carry out the strikes deep in Russian territory and asked if they could hit Moscow with long-range weapons the U.S. could provide. There's been a dramatic spike in the number of young children accidentally swallowing nicotine products.
The vast majority did not require treatment, but that's for chewing tobacco. E-cigarettes, gum, or lozenges. Nicotine pouches are another story. Since 2020, there's been a 736% increase in young kids ingesting nicotine pouches like Zyn.
Sherry Preston reports the pouches account for the highest proportion of adverse health effects when compared with other forms of nicotine. Fans who need a break from the noise during tonight's All-Star game at Truist Park have a new place to go.
22 other ballparks have sensory-friendly spaces for fans, and Braves Haven is the latest. The new sensory room at Truist Park is located on the Lexus level, and it will provide an opportunity for fans to decompress. Danielle Badesi, Vice President of Community Affairs for the Braves, says,
a space where you could kind of come, gather yourselves, and really take that little check-in break and be able to return to the game.
It's part of $4 million in legacy partnership projects with the MLB ahead of the All-Star game. In Cobb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The countdown to the new school year has started for school districts in DeKalb County and throughout the metro area. So DeKalb Public Health is extending its hours to get families ready starting today. Some will be open until 7:30 in for walk-ins, and services include immunizations, vision, hearing, dental, and nutrition screenings, and birth birth certificates will also be available through the Vital Records Office. It's 10:03. The Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, we are starting off with some live team coverage of traffic and weather. And good morning to Chinwe Maponya-Cook in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Good morning. Let's talk about that downtown connector. You are slowing and going I-75-85 northbound as you leave Lakewood at Langford Parkway 166. Those delays breaking up around Peachtree Pine, exit 249, and those southbound delays, 85 south catching you at 400, 75 south slowing at Morris Mill, and they merge together for a nice slow ride to I-20. In southeast, DeKalb just had a crash clear on the outer loop, I-285 eastbound at Boulder Crest. Had that crash moved to the right shoulder, but delays still kicking you back to Jonesboro Road. I'm Chinwe Maponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 96. Watching for scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon into this evening. Some of these storms may be capable of locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up storm, high 95.
It's 85 degrees now in Alpharetta, 86 in Forest Park, and 87 in Midtown Atlanta at 10:05. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah, the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Two Slices screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Scott Slade joins us live, conversing with Braves Hall of Famer John Smoltz about the All-Star game tonight here in Atlanta. At 11:05, very interesting local story. We're going to talk to Dee Anderson, the Cornelia city manager. You might remember the story last week. Weird story that someone's just scooping up homeless people and then just dropping them off on private property in Cornelia. So we're going to try to get to the bottom of that. And most important to you, perhaps, 11:37. Deborah's got more tickets to give away to see Sir Paul McCartney at State Farm Marina in November. So another pair of tickets for you to scoop up. Joining us now, though, on this Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, good morning. Last half hour, we went in depth on the breaking news in the Russia-Ukraine war. President Trump says that we will provide military assets to Ukraine. I'm assuming in 21st century warfare, that means a lot of drones will be sent to Ukraine. But oddly, we hardly make any of those military-style drones here in the United States.
No, almost none, really. And that's a real concern because there are different kinds of drones for different kind of operations, right? We have been making in the U.S. Incredibly effective and impressive drones like the Predator or the Reaper, which is used by the Navy. But each one of those costs like tens of millions of dollars. And obviously, we don't have that many of them. But what we've seen in Ukraine versus Russia, even Israel versus Iran, is that smaller, cheaper drones may be the way to go. Make 1,000 of them. And then if 2 hit, fine. That's what we wanted. Flood the zone, essentially, rather than the kind of precise technology, expensive technology with Predators and Reapers. And the Pentagon has an issue. Rules say they cannot buy any weapon that has Chinese technology. And guess who makes most of the drones these days? A company called DJI out of Shenzhen, China. So you can't so the Pentagon can't just go to Best Buy and say, give me 10 of those, please. And that's a problem. So now there are about 500 companies in the U.S. that make drones, but together they produce fewer than 100,000 a year, which isn't that many when you think about it. And a lot of these companies are startups and don't have much of a track record. So they're trying to get this industry ramped up here domestically in order to fight this new kind of warfare.
Yeah, what kind of actions can the administration or folks on Capitol Hill do to correct this imbalance on drone manufacturing?
Yeah, so there was a recent 4-day test of some of these domestic companies. The New York Times followed this pretty closely. It's a fascinating story on their website. But even the president last month signed the Unleashing American Drone Dominance executive order, directing federal agencies to fast-track any approval for American drone manufacturers. So they're trying to put the word out to get as many of these offers solicited, as many as possible. 500 companies out there is good. But again, if on average they only make about 2,000 a year each, clearly that's not going to meet the need. So, we're trying to stand up some of these startup companies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is the future of warfare, these drones. Correspondent Rory O'Neill joining us. So we are limited by not buying any military technology that has any sort of Chinese component. Is Israel bound by that same agreement, or are they free to buy Chinese drones to protect themselves from Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, etc.?
Yeah, I'm not sure about their rules. I do know, though, that Iran has also developed a significant drone manufacturing capability on its own, with Iran making a lot of drones for Russia to use against Ukraine. So that's sort of their axis of evil going on there. And that's one of the big concerns. Of course, China and Russia have gotten much closer over the past 3 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But what we've seen, though, on the battlefield is just how the use of drone technology really has changed in the past couple of years, and it's really changing how wars are fought.
It truly is. I could listen to you drone on about drones all day, but I know you got to run. Rory, have a great day, my friend. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, unlike a drone, I saw that one coming. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, buddy. All right, drones very important in 21st century warfare. We're not the nation or the world's leader in producing those military-style drones. We produce actually, we probably don't. It's probably China that produces all those drones. You get like at Best Buy to do. Deborah, do you have a drone? Do you own a drone yet?
No, it's not my thing.
No, I think I would have fun with it. But I'm also scared I would just, 2 minutes into my first flight, I would crash that drone into a side of a building or my neighbor's roof or something. Anyway, but really interesting stuff there from Rory. And again, big developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. The United States going to be selling billions of dollars of military aid to our NATO allies who will then deliver it to Ukraine. And President Trump said yesterday that Vladimir Putin has 50 days to make a deal to end this war, or they're going to start seeing some tariffs on their trading partners. The biggest, of course, as we heard from our correspondent last segment, was India and China. They're the ones that are continuously buying all of that Russian oil. So obviously a big story worth monitoring. This just popped. Veronica might have updated at 10. If she did, I apologize. U.S. consumer inflation picked up in line with analyst expectations last month. Government data showed Tuesday as policymakers try to gauge how President Trump's ever-growing list of tariffs affecting the economy. The CPI, the Consumer Price Index, was up 2.7% from a year ago in June, rising from the 2.4% figure in May as energy costs rose. Speaking of energy, that's according to the Department of Labor. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has more.
We are seeing the impact of tariffs starting to push up the inflation rate. And we see it most specifically in the food part of this survey. Coffee prices up by 2.2% in just 1 month. Citrus prices up 2.3%.
All right, so that's not good news as far as the interest rates are concerned. Inflation going up, so the Fed chair is going to not want to cut rates. I wonder what the increase, Deborah, on food costs are on cinnamon raisin bagels with turkey sausage, egg, and cheese. That there should be a surcharge on that, like a $12 surcharge. Ironically, so often we'll order food during the show because I don't get a lunch break. Do you get you get a lunch break, Longoria? Your
No, not really. I have to eat on the job. I mean,
eat while you're working.
Yeah.
We're not alone, Deborah. Apparently, a majority of American workers, if they get a lunch break, they don't take it, right? They work through their lunch breaks.
Yeah, more than half of workers don't always take lunch breaks. Basically, they did this survey that said only 37% of people that here work in the United States with lunch breaks are actually going to take it daily. 13% of them said they skip it a lot of times. And those who do often, like Longoria and me, will eat at their desk while they're working.
Interesting. I've worked at WSB. Oh, my 28th anniversary is coming up next month. You going to buy me something, Longoria? Buy me a nice little gift?
Sure.
Yeah.
Cinnamon raisin bagel. Yeah.
So in my 28 years here, there's only one shift where I actually had a lunch break. And I hope Mike Shields is listening just to let him know how easy he's got it. So my shift would start at 4 a.m. doing traffic for TV and Atlanta's Morning News. Then I'd work till 9 a.m. Atlanta's Morning News would end. And then I'd get a 1-hour lunch break, come back at 10 a.m., and then man the traffic center, the radio traffic center, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right. Mike Shields is out at 10 a.m. He's gone. I would get a lunch break from 9 to 10 and then work from 10 to 1 p.m. And that was a long day, a very trying day. But I used to enjoy that lunch break. I used to go to the Pot and Pan, which was like a greasy spoon kind of place over on Piedmont near Cheshire Bridge. It's torn down now. It's now that big Sprouts location, if you're familiar with it. But I used to go there. It was a Korean family that owned it. And I'd go in at 9:05 for breakfast, and I'd order a club sandwich with French fries because that was my lunch break. And they'd be like, "Oh, here's the gringo. What's the?" And I used to go. Warren Savage used to be the anchor on Channel 2 in the mornings. He was a couple of anchors before Fred Blankenship, and I'd go with him once a week. We'd go there, and he'd be seeing me eating my club sandwich, and he'd just shake his head. He's like, "It's 9 a.m." He's like, I'm like, yeah, it's just the way it is. One more worker story, and this hits close to home. Not only are employees not taking their allotted lunch break, but maybe more importantly, workers, Deborah, not taking their allotted vacation time over a year.
Well, actually, it's people not eating while they're on vacation. It's wasting money while they're on vacation. It's not they're not taking vacation days. That's the story that I have.
That's from today. Yesterday's story was people not using up all their vacation because of guilt, like vacation guilt. And I feel I'm one of those people. I want to take 4 weeks vacation a year. I have unlimited PTO, but I never take it. But this year, I'm probably going to get like 2.5 weeks. That's it. And it's guilt, feeling guilty of saying, "Hey, boss, I'm going to, I want to take all my vacation." So I can relate. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to make it in July.
Okay, your July resolution.
My 2026 New Year's resolution will be I'm going to take 6 weeks of vacation next year.
Okay. All right.
Do we get 6 weeks too then?
If you have unlimited PTO, I don't know.
Let's take it with Aram. Whenever Aram takes off, we take off. That's the new rule.
Yeah, put that in your contract.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, we got an update here now. Speaking of, we started the show with the Epstein file update. This apparently just happened on Capitol Hill. The Republican-led House Rules Committee has turned down an amendment that would have called for release of the Justice Department files on dead, scandalized financier Jeffrey Epstein. The amendment was proposed by Massachusetts Democrat Jim McGovern.
This is about trust. Republicans said, "Trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files." And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both.
Interesting. So the House Rules Committee said no to that request to release the Epstein files. More from Congressman Jim McGovern.
I move the committee make an order amendment number 50, which would require the Attorney General to preserve and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, I asked, we had Will Staken from ABC on at the top of the show. I asked, if Pam Bondi doesn't want to release the Epstein files, if Kash Patel doesn't want to release the Epstein files, is there something Congress can do? And look at that, 30 minutes later, this Democrat from Massachusetts did it. That, they shot him down. Do you think they'll shoot Marjorie Taylor Greene down? This is her yesterday on Capitol Hill talking about the blowback from the Epstein files non-release.
A lot of people in MAGA, they really want to know more information about the people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein. And is there a blackmail list? And are there foreign countries' governments involved? And there's nothing wrong with people continuing to ask that.
How big of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. I'm always honest about what's going on. And yeah, this one has been pretty big.
All right, so after the Democratic congressman was denied, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene then goes before her colleagues and asks for the release of the files. A story that is not going away anytime soon, I don't think. All right, when we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. First, though, got to check that Tuesday morning drive around Atlanta. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Chinwe Maponia-Cook.
Good morning. Just had a crash move over to the Gore, I-75 northbound, right at Forest Parkway. Not slowing you down, but the flashing lights are causing some onlooker delays. Also have another crash in the Gore, I-285 eastbound, right at the I-75 split. They were knocking out that left lane, slowing you down, trying to get to the international terminal, but crews came through and got them over to the left. This report is sponsored by your neighborhood Kroger Pharmacy. Kroger Pharmacy welcomes Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense Plan members. You can transfer prescriptions at Kroger.com/payyourupdate. I'm Chinwe Maponia-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
It's the 25th annual WSB Radio Carathon, July 24th and 25th.
All of us at WSB team up to benefit the kids at the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorders Center at Children.
Won't you please help?
Donate online today at WSBRadio.com/Carathon.
Thank you for your support of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Hey y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and summer's in full swing, and so are the bugs, especially the mosquitoes, ticks, fire ants, and yes, those dreaded roaches. I was at a friend's barbecue the other night, and the bug spray was getting more action than the ketchup. Y'all, that wouldn't happen at my house. I use Arrow exterminators, and my home and yard is protected. Don't let summer barbecue crashers ruin your fun. With Arrow exterminators, you can stop the itching and the biting and take back your yard. Arrow's been family-owned for over 61 years, with team members who use the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available, and it's all backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Call Arrow Exterminators today for your free home or business pest inspection at 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Trust is not just a word, it's an experience. When your home needs service, you can trust TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hey, it's Chris Chandler. TE is the company I trust to fix any problem once and for all. Their 5-star customer experience means easy online scheduling, friendly technicians, and a lifetime workmanship warranty, so I can just sit back and relax.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you, your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Exciting news for homeowners out there. This is Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate here on WSB every Saturday at 1 p.m. My team and I are now proud partners with the iconic real estate brand, The Agency. As we launch the Atlanta market, we now have multiple offices covering Metro Atlanta. What this means for you as a home buyer or seller is that you will now have access to the agency's global resources. In this changing market, it is essential to hire the most experienced agency to represent you. And if you're a seller, you'll get the agency's proprietary marketing, which brings you more buyers, more offers, and and ultimately sell your home for more money. My team and I are here for you as your real estate experts. In the meantime, we have all your answers about real estate every Saturday at 1 p.m. right here on WSB. And you can always reach out to me at InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com, now partners with the Agency Atlanta.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix It Show for Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Looking for a new truck and looking for a great deal? Of course you are. Well, I have a great deal on the Tundra for you, and the only place you're going to find it, the only place you're going to hear about it is right here. Go to beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals and save money on your new Toyota Tundra. It's that easy. beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming is the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
The clerk read out a list of 32 names. The last were His Royal Highness versus Her Royal Highness. The judge then pronounced them all divorced.
29 years ago today, after years of separation, after both admitted to extramarital affairs, Prince Charles, Princess Diana finally got divorced. That was Adam Raphael reporting for CBS News. Deborah, speaking of the royals, I mean, it's sad when everyone gets divorced. Rest in peace, Princess Diana. The Crown, are we going to get another season of The Crown? Do we know?
I mean, I guess we're all kind of caught up, right? It'd have to be all about Charles taking over.
Yeah, let's do it.
Would anybody want to watch Charles's reign? I feel like they're waiting for William to take over, and then it'll be about William's life.
All right. Keep us posted on the on the Crown story. You heard the promo going into the last break. The 25th annual WSB Carathon kicks off next Thursday, and I've been remiss. Ashley, who runs the Carathon for us, she's the best. She's been telling me to promote our incentives, and I hate to do it before the Carathon because I want to do the incentives before the Carathon. But I've been slapped on my hand and saying we've got to promote our incentives. So I just posted a link on my Facebook page at Mark Arum WSB of all the Mark Arum Show incentives this year for the 25th annual Carathon. They include the Costco tour. With me and Clark Howard, always have fun. That it's like walking into a music store with Elvis. Being in Costco with Clark. He is like a god there. We've got that. We've got the 999 dinner. This year it's going to be at Del Bar in Alpharetta, which is one of my favorite places. So for $999, you get you and a guest get to have a special private dinner with me and my wife at Del Bar in Alpharetta. Phenomenal food. I pay for the booze. It's awesome. And then, of course, the Mark Arum Show Listener Lunch. $219 gets you a pair of tickets to the Listener Lunch. It'll be on Saturday, October 25th at noon. Lunch provided, Deborah, by our friends at Q&2 Barbecue. My favorite event of the year. I give you a tour of the station, radio stations, the TV station. So I finally did it. Thank you, Ashley, for reminding me. The Mark Arum Show incentives are up right now at WSBRadio.com/Carathon. Speaking of Carathon, the father of the Carathon, Scott Slade's going to join us live after news, weather, and traffic. A conversation he had with Braves Hall of Famer John Smoltz about the All-Star Game tonight in Atlanta. That's coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and I'm so excited to invite you to our designer pop-up event July 19th and 20th. Come see extended lines of engagement rings, wedding bands, plus brand new wedding day and fashion jewelry from the top designers in the industry, like Veragio's handcrafted blend of the trends and looks of today with the timeless vintage beauty of the past. So don't just look for a ring, find the perfect ring at D. Geller & Son's designer pop-up event July 19th and 20th in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. RSVP online at dgeller.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Summer heat will only lend a hand to all that's growing in your crawl space. Dave Baker here. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions will encapsulate it to keep mold, pests, and the unwanted out. Visit aquaguard.net for your free inspection.
AquaGuard. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 10:30. I'm Veronica Waters. News this half hour brought to you by My Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. WSB's top local story: inflation in Atlanta is up 2.7% as of June, just about on pace with the national increase. It's the nation's highest inflation since February. Financial expert Caleb Silver says there is still a ton of uncertainty regarding tariffs.
Consumers should be happy that we haven't seen these major price increases, and we probably won't see them in the July report either. The tariffs go into effect August 1st. If they go into effect, look at that August inflation report. When we get to September, we'll see price increases then.
Numbers out today from the Labor Department are about in line with what analysts expected as well. They show the Consumer Price Index, which is a general measure of how much people are paying for goods and services, and a key inflation indicator that was up 0.3% from May. No injuries are reported after some DeKalb County firefighters land in a dangerous situation, putting out a huge blaze overnight. Captain Jason Daniels says the flames had already spread throughout the home on Malvern Boulevard in Stone Mountain by the time they got there. But it was the noise that came soon after, causing more concern.
Before we were able to go in and actually do a detailed search on the home, crews began to hear rounds of ammunition going off inside of the home.
Crews pulled back to safety while they heard those bullets going off. The roof of the home eventually collapsed and they were able to extinguish the blaze, and investigations ongoing into the cause. The city of Tucker will have a new fee schedule for their parks and rec facilities.
The council approves the new fee structure that will increase costs for various things, explains Finance Director Beverly Hilton.
A lot of these are only $5, which is it doesn't cover the entire increase in operations, but it helps to offset.
But she says not everything's going up.
There are no changes here to the aquatic services. There's no changes here to the facility rental, parks rental, and athletics.
This is the first increase in 5 years. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
Don't forget that the statewide runoff is going on right now, Election Day, for 2 Democrats vying for a seat on Georgia's Public Service Commission.
Voters will choose between Democrats Keisha Waits and Peter Hubbard. Both are seeking the Democratic nomination for the District 3 seat currently held by Republican Fitz Johnson. Turnout has been dismally low for this runoff. According to the Secretary of State's office, only 33,000 voters have cast ballots ahead of Election Day. That's 0.4% of the state's active voters. But it's not surprising to UGA political science professor Dr. Charles Bullock.
Of our statewide contests, this is the least visible of them.
The polls close at 7 p.m. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight at Truist Park. The Braves' Ronald Acuna Jr. gets the start in left field, while first baseman Matt Olson will come off the bench for the National League. Acuna is going to bat second. Now, Olsen failed to make it out of the first round of last night's home run derby, but he says it's an experience he'll never forget.
The reaction of the intros and then, the support during the round was awesome.
Meanwhile, Truist Park now has a space for fans who get overwhelmed by the noise, an isolation room where you can sort of get away from it all. Some singles are looking to have a fairy tale ending courtesy of Disney. A dating app called Single Riders will look to match Disney enthusiasts based on their love of certain themed movies and parks. The app's developer says it's a chance for Disney fans to plan dates at different parks, discuss Disney-related interests, and even build platonic friendships. He says the app is in the test phase right now, but he's hoping they'll launch it soon. It's 10:33 and live team coverage of traffic and weather starts right now. Chinwei Mahoney Cooks in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Well, we got a couple of cone zones going on in the northeast. In Winder, 316 westbound at Riverside Drive, a right lane's knocked out due to some road work. In Buford, I-85 southbound, right at Hamilton Mill, has a right lane knocked out due to road work. And in Gwinnett, traffic lights are out, Jimmy Carter Boulevard at South Peachtree Street. So you want to treat that as a four-way stop and proceed with caution. Downtown connector is looking a little bit better. Northbound delays still catching you out of Lakewood. Southbound delays looking better as well. I'm Chinwei Maponya Cook, 95.5 WSB. This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 96. Scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening hours. Some of the storms may produce locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s.
Right now it's 85 degrees in Roswell, 87 in Morrow, and 88 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 10:34. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
What would you do with $1,000 this summer?
Hotel, pool, week at the beach, cabin in the woods.
Whatever you want to do this summer.
WSB has $1,000 to make it happen.
Thank you. $1,000 Thursdays gives you the chance to win $1,000 every hour between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
I'm so excited. Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBradio.com or on the WSB app. Within that hour,
You could win $1,000.
No way. Is this a joke?
Get all the info at WSBradio.com.
$1,000 Thursdays.
This Thursday from 95.5 WSB, where Atlanta wins.
More flash floods. These not in Texas, though. Those are in Jersey. We'll update the recovery in Texas still to come. But next, Scott Slade joins us live 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
How easy is it to save energy and money in seconds? Power down unused devices, swap out traditional bulbs for LEDs, and adjust your thermostat for the season. Get more tips at georgiapower.com/energy efficiency today. Ready, set, save.
Hey, friends, is that knee, hip, or shoulder pain just not getting any better? Are you stuck in a cycle of steroid shots and now they're talking about surgery? Before you go down that road, hit pause for a second. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without more meds and without going under the knife. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. Game changer. Real results that let you move easier and live better. Listen, it doesn't cost anything for a second opinion. I want you to learn more about something that could be life-changing. A licensed medical provider will go over your x-rays or MRI and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments. Call QC Kinetics today. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026.
Does it seem like it's getting louder and louder? Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. That noise is your garage door crying for help. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Our highly trained technicians provide 24/7 service, upfront pricing, and free estimates. We service all major brands. Our products are warranted, and our work is guaranteed. We will treat you like our only customer. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
At Barlow Lexus of South Atlanta, they just don't sell cars. They set the standard of amazing. Enjoy personalized service, a Starbucks cafe, and airport parking concierge because you deserve more than just a car. Visit BarlowLexusSouthAtlanta.com or call 800-NEW-LEXUS today because they value you.
Well, Glory just got star of the show, my friend. 11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, friends. Last segment, I told you that the 25th annual WSB Carathon starts next Thursday, and I gave a list of the incentives, which are now active at WSBradio.com/Carathon. I neglected to mention 2 new incentives this year. First off, Comedy Night at the Punchline with WSB and Jeff Foxworthy. Stand up by me, Eric Von Hessler, Dave Baker, and Jeff Foxworthy. That's going to be Thursday, September 25th at 7 p.m. Tickets available that. And new this year, I think it's new this year, Scott Slade, private dinner with Scott Slade. You and a guest dine with Scott Slade for an upscale private dinner. Is that the first time we've done this?
No, we've done it several times in the past, but it usually gets bought before the Carathon even begins.
Well, someone go scoop that up. It gets purchased before the Carathon starts. That's why I never talk about it as an incentive. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Fun evening with 2 couples, and we just share bread, share a little wine, have a great meal at one of Atlanta's finer restaurants, and it all helps the kids.
Love it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
me
All
too.
right. And again, you are the godfather of the Carathon, so thanks for coming up with this amazing idea 25 years ago.
Oh, you're so welcome. When I saw what was going on at the then young Aflac Cancer Center, it was like, look, we got to tell the story. And when we do, I know our listeners will do the right thing. And we've had so many folks, Mark, come along to help out because they realize just what is going on at the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorders Center. Yeah, finding cures and more advanced treatments, and it's happening right here. I mean, these guys are getting somewhere with all this. And one of those guys doing this from near the beginning is Braves Hall of Famer John Smoltz. And John does have his Hall of Fame package available for us again this year on the 30th anniversary of the 1995 Braves World Series championship team. He's making available a bat signed by Smoltz along with Tom Glavine, and invitations for 2 people to attend his auction party hosting for the Aflac Cancer Center on Sunday, August 10th. That includes dinner and drinks, and details will be online for all of that. So those will go quickly. And Mark,
I've been there, by the way. I've done that event, and I don't know. He gives away I'm not going to spoil it, but you get amazing stuff at that event too. They give you some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, they really do. And thanks for what you're doing. Is the scariest thing possible doing stand-up comedy?
I've done it twice in my life.
Okay.
The first time we did the benefit for Royal Marshall at the Punchline, and I opened for Jeff Foxworthy. And it was an amazing experience. I crushed it. And I said, oh, this is easy. I went back to the Punchline 2 weeks later and bombed. And that was the last time I did it. But it's for the kids. So I'll get up there. Me, Von Hessler, Dave Baker, Foxworthy. It's going to be a fun night.
Well, what a great night. Again, WSBradio.com/Carathon is a good place to see these incentives. And, Mark, when I was chatting up John Smoltz about what he's doing for the Carathon this year, I had to ask a couple of baseball questions, right?
Yes.
In the context of the All-Star game in Atlanta, I'm curious. You've been there, done that. What's going through these guys' minds as they get ready for their All-Star game appearances?
For the first-timers, they're in for a treat because the atmosphere and everything that you're about to take in, you can't be prepared for. The All-Star game is a unique gathering of some of the greatest players, obviously, that you play against. You'll get to rub elbows with in the locker room, and it's an experience you'll never forget. The adrenaline is unlike any regular season game, and the more you're in it, the more you're used to it. But when you get to do something like this for the first time, it's pretty special.
I saw an interesting YouTube video where you were talking about your first All-Star game appearance. It was a bit nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
It was. It was nerve-wracking getting there. I almost missed the flight getting out to the West Coast. I was the only representative for the Atlanta Braves, so that was nerve-wracking in itself. I didn't know anybody. I get there amongst all the guys that I had watched and some that I played against, and didn't even think that I would be selected to pitch based on the amount of pitchers that were there. And Tommy Lasorda was the manager, and he said that I would be pitching second after Rick Russell. So when the game starts, everybody wants to watch the game, obviously, from the dugout, and that includes the relievers that were going to be in the game. Well, I didn't know how to get to the bullpen.
Oh, no.
And the relievers that were going to be going down there said, we're just going to watch the first inning, and then we'll head down. Well, back then, starting pitchers pitched 2 or 3 innings in an all-star game. Well, Rick Russell was not having a good first inning and was getting roughed up pretty bad. And Tommy Lasorda went to the bullpen phone and said, "Get Smoltz up," and I'm in the dugout. So he looked at me and he said, "Oh, kid, what are you doing?" And he said, "How many pitches will it take you to get ready?" And I said, "It won't take much." And about 7 or 8 pitches later, once I got down there, I was in my first All-Star game. And that's just not the protocol for getting into your first All-Star game. And unfortunately, with runners on first and third and Bo Jackson was up, I got him to ground ball to what would be a routine double play ball, but he beat it out and I got the loss.
Oh, man. Well, you were there. That was the main thing, right?
I was there. That's right.
John, any thoughts on what the Braves need to do in the second half of the season?
Well, besides getting healthy, which that's a problem for a lot of teams, they just haven't had consistency out of the players in their offense and as a team. And when you don't have that consistency, it reflects in your record. Offensively, this team was put together and signed a lot of players to be dynamic and be the strength of the ball club along with their starting pitching. Their starting pitching has been decimated with injuries, and their offense has been very inconsistent. So it really boils down to, can they offensively get closer to 2023 where they had the historic run? But right now, their year reflects kind of how everything has been going for them. They've lost every last close game they seemed like they could lose, that's got to change in the second half. And the reason they're losing those close games is they're not executing offensively in situations that they need to.
We'll look forward to seeing and hearing you on Fox Sports for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game from Truist Park. Is that right?
That's right. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a great show.
We're looking forward to it as well, and thank you again for what you're doing with your Hall of Fame initiative packages for the WSB Carathon, John. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
1989, Mark, I think was Smoltz's first All-Star game.
I have never heard that story I've heard a million Smoltz stories, but I never thought to ask him about his first All-Star. Oh my God, I would have been panicking if I was in his role. And Tommy Lasorda, what a legendary name, calls the bullpen, and Smoltz is in the dugout. He's not in the bullpen warming up. That was crazy.
Can you imagine him running through the tunnel in cleats?
Yeah, I've done that. But usually it's running through the tunnel to go to the bathroom in cleats, not to run to the bullpen in cleats. That's amazing. And I didn't know he was calling the game for Fox tonight. I said earlier in the show, I'm starting to get FOMO on the All-Star game tonight. I didn't buy tickets because it's an 8 p.m. first pitch. I got to get up so early in the morning. But now I'm second guessing myself, and I might try to sneak a pair of tickets to get to the game tonight. I don't want to miss out.
Well, the day of, that could be very expensive.
Yes. And this is actually my veiled plea for a listener to be like, "Oh yeah, Aram, I've got an extra ticket. Come hang with us."
Sure, face value, Mark. I just want to unload them.
Unbelievable. All right, great stuff there with John Smoltz. Again, we got the Smoltz Hall of Fame package. Is that what's called?
Yeah,
from the Carathon.
Hall of Fame package with the bat, the 30th anniversary bat from the Braves World Series Championship, signed by Smoltzy and Glavine, and of course the invitation for two to attend the auction party on August 10th, and those will go for a donation of $1,000 for 2 people, and there's not many of them, so I hope folks will jump on it.
Yeah, Scott Slade private dinner up there as well. My Clark Howard Costco tour is up there, the 999 dinner, and the Mark Aram Show listener lunch, which is always fun. So the incentives are live. Let's build momentum going up to next Thursday in the 25th annual WSB Carathon, Scott.
Indeed. And when anybody says, "Hey, what's your goal?" I say, the next dollar.
Exactly right. Right.
Dollar, because these people know how to make that next dollar work, getting closer to cures for what were really death sentences just a couple of generations ago. It's amazing.
And if you're driving down 85 or that access road into Cab and you see that new Arthur M. Blank Hospital, just know that the WSB Carathon it was an integral part, obviously, the Blank Foundation, but you listeners made that new building possible as well. So take pride in that.
Yes, sir.
All right, Scott. Well, I'll see you next Thursday, my friend.
I hope so.
All right. Always a pleasure. And speaking of Thursday, real quick, what's coming up on Scott's? Oh, are you going to have one this Thursday because of the Carathon?
Well, in fact, I'm talking to Dr. Doug Graham, the Aflac Center Director, about the amazing things. And we're going to get into the weeds. I love getting into the weeds on just how the research is taking place. And now they're using the word cure more often, which is just amazing. And this week, there was a recent technology survey, a company called Seniorly, that puts Georgia near the bottom of the 50 United States of America on helping people age in place. And especially that's Meals on Wheels, delivered meals. We're going to hear from a Metro Atlanta couple who's made a huge difference. And I think folks are going to be inspired in just what they're doing to make this more of a reality for people who want to live their golden years at home.
Scottsdale, Georgia, this Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News. Looking forward to your conversation with Dr. Moonlight Graham, as I call him. Love Dr. Graham.
Right.
Scott, good stuff as always. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure, Mark. Good to be with you.
All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll update our top local stories. But first, ain't no such thing as halfway cooks. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Chinwe Maponia Cook.
Let's take a ride through our northern suburbs. Right now, we're getting word of a new crash knocking out a lane on the on-ramp from 6th Road to 575 southbound. Not slowing you down too much, though. And other than that, we got a smooth ride through Marietta, although there is one hot spot right before Delk Road as you're approaching I-285. 400 southbound, your delay is looking good out of Alpharetta into Sandy Springs. And over in Duluth, you still got a slow go of it. I-85 southbound, tapping the brakes from 316 all the way to I-285, exit 95. I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
Some of the bravest children I've ever met are going to become radio stars later this month.
The 25th annual WSB Radio Carathon is right around the corner.
Won't you please help?
Join us once again for 2 days of magic, Thursday and Friday, July 24th and 25th.
You can make miracles happen.
Donate today at WSBRadio.com/Carathon.
Barkis Hospital, we love you.
Just a word of wisdom from your friend Mark Aram. A damaged roof doesn't always lead to an entire roof replacement project. As a full-service Atlanta roofing company, my friends at Dr. Roof offer comprehensive roof repairs that will lengthen the lifespan of your existing roof and ensure that it will continue to protect your home as it should. It's storm season. Get peace of mind from my friends at Dr. Roof. They've been in business for over 35 years, and Dr. Roof offers up to a 5-year warranty on roof repairs. Get all the info online at drroof.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Summer starts now at Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show here. Right now, Beaver Toyota is loaded with fresh inventory. They have the perfect Toyotas for your summer adventures, from road trips with your buddies to family trips to the beach. And they're offering huge savings, low financing, and all the Beaver benefits. See them on the web at beavertoyotacumming.com. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming, the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. But today, instead of giving you a home remodeling tip, my tip is don't just take my word for it. For over 20 years, you've heard me on the radio sharing remodeling advice. But if you really want to know what sets Exovations apart, go read our reviews. At exovations.com, you'll find hundreds of real stories from real homeowners who have trusted us with their exterior remodeling projects. From decks, siding, windows, doors, paint, roofing, porticos, and so much more. You'll see words like amazing work, incredible experience from start to finish, and again, stress-free. That's not just what we say, it's what our customers say. So yes, I'm Candace from Exovations, but don't just listen to me. Listen to our reviews. At Exovations, we do projects on time, on budget, and without all that stress. Google Exovations or visit EXOVATIONS.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Right now, select varieties are only $2.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Bugs bugging you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your AC? Ace Hardware Home Services is right around the corner with trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to heating and cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
The British newspapers say I am a madman. The American newspapers say I am a cannibal. These
That's
are lies.
audio of the bagel maker when he saw Vinny's order of the cinnamon raisin bagel. No, I'm kidding. That's Forrest Whitaker in his Oscar-winning performance of Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland. Mr. Whitaker turns 64 years old today. One of the greatest actors of my lifetime. I absolutely love Forrest Whitaker. All the way back to, Deborah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where he played football star Jefferson. Yep. And then, he was in an episode of Different Strokes. I don't remember that. Good Morning Vietnam, Bloodsport, A Rage in Harlem, Crying Game, Body Snatchers, Mr. Holland's Opus. He was in that. Great. And now he's on, I don't know if you watched this movie, Godfather of Harlem, where he plays Bumpy Johnson. Yeah. Love Mr. Forrest Whitaker. Happy birthday to him. All right, coming up after news, weather, and traffic at 11, we're going to update a story we talked about last week. Someone's picking up homeless people and dropping them off in Cornelia, the city in Georgia. And we don't know why. We don't know the motive. They're just picking up homeless people and taking them to Cornelia. We're going to talk to Dee Anderson, the Cornelia city manager, on what exactly is happening there. Just a really crazy local story. Monitoring the CPI index, inflation did go up. And I haven't checked the markets yet, so we'll check them live together, see how the markets are. Sorry, I did that. Dow's down 300, but the Nasdaq's up 90 as the inflation rate went up to 2.7% after going up 2.4%. The inflation goes up, less likely that the Fed chair is going to cut interest rates. Still to come on the show, 11:37. Deborah's got tickets to see Sir Paul McCartney at State Farm Arena. Your chance to win those. We'll be giving those away all week. And I still want to go in depth. We have more information about that. The big meeting yesterday between President Trump and the NATO Secretary General, and what could be a real dynamic shift in the Russia-Ukraine war. We are now going to provide military necessities to Ukraine via NATO. NATO and the European allies are going to be paying for them. We're going to manufacture them, but the bottom line is Ukraine will be able to bump up their defenses and offenses in their war against Russia. We will go to London and get the very latest on that developing story. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio. And if you go to my Facebook page, Mark Arum WSB, links to all the amazing Carathon incentives. You can pre-order them. Beat the rush before the Carathon starts next Thursday.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville. Online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
The average baby boomer's 401k, just under $250,000. Gen X, closer to $200,000. How do your retirement savings stack up? No matter your age, the right moves today can completely change your financial future. That's why we created retirement planning at every age. A free guide with smart strategies, key milestones, and steps to stay on track. Download your copy today at yourwealth.com/resources. Let's get your future on the right track starting today.
Hey, it's Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. They have a very exciting program that might be the perfect fit for you. Introducing the Aesthetic Vault, a curated members-only program for those that prioritize elevated self-care and personalized beauty. Enjoy exclusive perks, preferred pricing, and the freedom to apply your monthly bank towards the treatment you love, all for $149 per month. As a member, you'll receive 10% off med spa services and retail products, a complimentary consultation, skin analysis, and either a dermaplane or peel every year. Be among the first 100 members to lock in a lifetime monthly rate of $129. But you must call Marietta Plastic Surgery. Call 770-425-7575. That's 770-425-7575. Or visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Veronica Waters. The news this hour is brought to you by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Our top local story, several people are hospitalized due to surging crowds leaving the Beyonce concert.
Shortly after midnight, thousands of people entered the Vine City MARTA station, heading home after the Beyonce concert at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Witnesses say one person began screaming and running, evidently startled by an insect. That created a rush of people on an escalator. That caused the escalator to temporarily speed up and then abruptly stop. In the end, one person suffered a broken ankle. A total of 7 people were transported with cuts and scrapes, and a few others received first aid at the scene. The escalator manufacturer is being brought in to investigate what went wrong. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
It's 89 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards is forecasting partly cloudy skies today with a humid high around 96. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. An overnight fire at a home in Stone Mountain puts firefighters in a tricky situation when they start hearing explosions.
The home on Malvern Boulevard was engulfed in flames when DeKalb County fire crews arrived. Captain Jason Daniels says after a short time on scene, they heard bullets exploding inside.
We knew that the rounds were going off by themselves, being that the fire had gotten to them. So we just backed up from the home for some time and continued to put out the fire after that.
The roof of the home collapsed during that incident. They were eventually able to extinguish the blaze. No injuries are reported. No word yet on what caused the fire. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Tucker residents heading to some of the city's parks may soon be paying some extra fees as the Tucker City Council approves a new structure to raise prices for some parks and rec facilities. Finance Director Beverly Hilton says some places and activities will cost $5 more.
The modest increases
that are intended to offset some of the increases in operation costs.
She says the updated fee structure is also needed for community growth and increased staffing. Beginning today, health centers in DeKalb County extend their hours as parents get their kids ready for the new school year.
DeKalb Public Health says it's mission ready to help parents and guardians prepare their children for school. It's rotating extended hours for walk-ins through 7:30 Tuesday nights across its 4 health center locations, starting today at North DeKalb Health Center. Families should expect longer than usual wait times for services, so arrive as early as possible. The health centers offer immunizations, vision, hearing, dental, and nutritional screenings. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
The Republican-led House Rules Committee turns down an amendment that would have called for the release of the Justice Department files on dead, scandalized financier Jeffrey Epstein.
This is about trust. Republicans said, trust us, vote for us, and we will release these files. And here we are. They are backtracking. They said they aren't going to cut Medicaid, and they did. They said they wouldn't add to the deficit and debt. They exploded both.
That's Massachusetts Democrat Jim McGovern bringing that amendment. If you were wondering whether prices were creeping higher again, you're right. U.S. consumer inflation picked up in line with analyst expectations last month, up 2.7%.
This is the highest reading since February and moving away from the Federal Reserve's target rate. Of course, it comes as we've seen and heard the president ramp up pressure on Fed Chair Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. This is one input that will be considered when Fed policymakers meet again later in the month.
And inflation in Atlanta also matches the national rate at 2.7%. It is runoff election day to see which Democrat will face incumbent Republican Fitz Johnson in November for the District 3 Public Service Commission seat. Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits are in the runoff today, but turnout has been dismally low in early voting with data from the Secretary of State's office. Only 33,000 or 0.4% of the state's active voters have bothered to cast a ballot. It's 11:04. The Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather starts right now with Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Veronica. Looks like some new trouble 285 northbound heading up through Tucker. I believe it's a stall in the center lane. I see all the cars and trucks hopping out of that center lane, and you're already slowing back into Clarkston toward Highway 78. On the ramp from Glenwood Road to 285 southbound, crash just went off to the right there, so that is some good news. And if you're traveling through downtown, 75, 85 northbound, still on and off the brakes. University Avenue up to Freedom Parkway. Southbound sluggish starting in Midtown around 17th Street as you head down to Cortlandt Street. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 96. Watching for scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon into this evening. Some of these storms may be capable of locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated pop-up storm, high 95.
Right now, it's 88 degrees in Conyers, 86 in Gainesville, and 90 now on Peachtree Street in Midtown Atlanta at 11:05. More news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:05 on this fast-moving news day, Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from right now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir Paul McCartney in November at State Farm Arena. Very excited for that. Monitoring the Russia-Ukraine war. This just popped from Capitol Hill. Mike Waltz sitting before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee during his confirmation hearing for U.S. Ambassador to the UN. You remember Waltz is facing questioning for the first time since losing his post as National Security Advisor after mistakenly adding a journalist to a private signal chat being used to discuss sensitive military plans. This is the nominee, Mike Waltz, moments ago.
The UN has ballooned to over 80 agencies with overlapping missions that waste resources, and if confirmed, I'll push for transparency, like what we're seeing in the Secretary General's UN 80 reform plan, calling for a 20% staff cut.
His nomination, not a layup, political experts say, so that's something we'll, of course, monitor throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Updating a local story we talked about last week, and it was a head-scratcher for me, taking place in Habersham County, the beautiful city of Cornelia, reports that someone or some people were picking up homeless individuals and then just dropping them off in Cornelia on private property. Going in depth on this really weird and interesting local story. Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, Cornelia City Manager Dee Adams and Police Chief Jonathan Roberts. Good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Good morning. By the way, it's Dee Anderson.
What did I say?
Adams.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have been a doctor. I can't read my own handwriting. Sorry, Mr. Anderson.
Same problem.
Let's start with you. Just take us back to the beginning, and what do we know about this weird story today?
Well, I mean, so we've seen an uptick in the homeless population probably in the last year or so, and it's something we've been dealing with because the residents don't like it, the businesses don't like it, and I'll let the chief explain how this came about and what was found. But we've just seen an uptick, and we couldn't figure out where they were coming from, and we think we're getting close to figuring that out.
Oh, take it away from there, Chief.
Well, like Mr. Anderson was saying, our homeless population has started to grow exponentially, and some people want to blame it on growth. So I just created a Facebook post requesting the public's help, and man, did we get a lot of information on our anonymous tip lines, and we've requested the GBI to come in. They're not taking over the investigation, but we have requested that they come in and help us conduct some interviews. We've got Habersham County Sheriff's Office involved. We've been in contact with Baldwin Police Department. They're one of our neighbors. And it just appears that there is a person or persons that is believed to be going outside the county, but also moving people from different parts of the county into other parts of the county with the promise that, they're going to help them find more stable housing, and they're going to help them try to find jobs. And then what they're doing is literally just dumping them on people's private property without permission. Sometimes they'll give them a tent or something to, some type of temporary shelter. We've been fortunate enough to talk to some of the folks that have been displaced, and we're trying our best to help get them help through the proper channels. But they're saying the people that are doing this are making promises and taking donations, and they're not following through with the promises.
Wow!
And so we've seen a pretty large influx of homeless and displaced people being brought into our community, and
of course the biggest thing, like you said, is they're putting them on other people's property without their permission, and the property owners are contacting us about it. So I mean, it's basically a trespassing charge, Chief?
Yes, sir.
So, Chief, when you're talking to the urban outdoorsmen that are now in Cornelia, did they give you any indication that they were brought there by someone?
Yes, some of them have said that they were brought from outside of Habersham County. Some people were relocated from other places in the county, but it seems to be a reoccurring story where individuals are promising things to try to help them get on their feet. But the major issue that we're having to deal with is the displaced are being placed on people's property that they don't have permission to be there.
Yeah.
And it's creating a lot of legal issues, safety hazards, and some other issues for not only the property owner, but the police officers, and obviously those that have been displaced.
Well, when the story popped on my radar last week, guys, I was trying to figure out a motive on who would be bringing the homeless people to Cornelia. Was it, a want to be Good Samaritan, thinking they were doing the right thing, or was there a nefarious reason, like, oh, I don't like the owner of the Ace Hardware, so I'm going to drop off 2 homeless people in the parking lot there? Do we have any idea, Chief, on motive?
I don't think there's no indication that it was done with a vindictive heart. We think at some level the persons involved think that they are helping, when in essence they're creating a huge problem with a lot of legal ramifications for the property and business owners.
Interesting. You're listening to the Mark Arum Show. We're talking to Cornelia City Manager Dee Anderson and Police Chief Jonathan Roberts, updating a local story that popped last week. Homeless folks just showing up in Cornelia, apparently being dropped off from other locations. Dee, let me ask you, do we know, you mentioned some might have come from other cities in Habersham County. When I saw the story, I envisioned just people going to the camps in downtown Atlanta, the homeless camps here, and picking up homeless folks there. Do we have the origination cities of some of the homeless that you've discovered?
No, we haven't got. Like I said, it's still an ongoing investigation. We haven't gotten that far. But we, like the chief said, I mean, we feel confident that a lot of them are coming from other cities, whether, it could be Gainesville for all we know. It's the closest large city to us. So.
Well, for folks that, listen, I love Cornelia, but folks might not be familiar, and assuming listeners of WSB Radio have homes and are employed and would love to visit your fine city of Cornelia. Tell us why we should come visit Cornelia, Dee.
Well, of course, you need to come visit our historic downtown. And, if you haven't been here in the last few years, it's done a complete transformation. We've got some really high-end, really nice restaurants to enjoy now. And so we bring a lot of people in from other places just to visit and eat at our restaurants. And that's part of the issue, too, is, these people have made a huge investment in our downtown, and they call me because there's people, standing outside their door,
wow.
Basically harassing their patrons for money and whatnot when they come in sitting on a public sidewalk. So, it's like I said, it's just created a problem for the business owners and the residents alike, and obviously the private property owners who are having to deal with them being on their property.
Yeah. So, Chief, do you still need the community's help in getting more information for you and the GBI on this?
Yes and no. We always look for the community support, and we're very blessed to have a wonderful community that always reaches out and helps us in every aspect we've ever asked help with. We've got a ton of information that we're going through, so we're definitely not going to turn down new information that if someone has information that they want to bring. But right now we don't have any more specifics to request for more specific information. So we're just kind of working through all the information that we have now, verifying if it's good intel or not, and just going from there right now.
All right, please keep us posted if you get to the bottom of this. Police Chief Jonathan Roberts and Mr. Anderson, Cornelia City Manager. Guys, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, so we're getting some more. I still apparently it's not a nefarious reason. It's someone that wanted to be a good Samaritan, like, oh, I love downtown Cornelia. It's beautiful. Let me bring the homeless folk there. I don't want to sound heartless and without empathy, but maybe, you come up with, a shelter in Habersham County. Bring them to a shelter that where they don't have to interfere with commerce and the regular comings and goings of death. It's just such a strange story. Anyway, good stuff there. Thank you for getting them for us. Dee Anderson, Cornelia City Manager, and the Chief of Police. I keep hammering that phrase, Chief of Police, Jonathan Roberts. All right, when we come back, updating other top local stories. Right now, though, got to check that Tuesday steamy drive around town. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Hope the air conditioning's working if you're stuck on traffic on 285 northbound, the outer loop on the east side between Clarkston and Tucker, because it's slow. Excuse me, all due to a stall in the center lane, 285 northbound, just past La Vista Road, exit 37. That's causing those delays. 85 southbound out of Duluth toward Norcross, a few brake lights from 316 down toward Beaver Ruin Road. You got construction 316 westbound around Riverside Parkway. That's in the right lane, causing a few brake lights as you leave Lawrenceville over to Sugarloaf. This report brought to you by Active Pest Control. Enjoy a pest-free home with Active Pest Control's pest-free 365 service. To save $50 off your initial pest service, visit ActivePestControl.com today. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 East.
You don't have to sit in it.
It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 south.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville, online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Hi, this is Megan, your friend and jeweler from Shane Company. Did you know not all warranties are created equal? At Shane Company, our free lifetime warranty is all-inclusive and even protects the diamond in your engagement ring. We can offer such an incredible warranty because our rings are crafted to last a lifetime. As your friend and jeweler, our gift to you is peace of mind. At Shane Company, we also cover unlimited repairs, resizings, and cleanings for free for life, saving you thousands over time. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You know kids will ruin your life, right? Especially if you're a garage door. I mean, babies are adorable, don't get me wrong. But after that adorable phase where they barf and poop on everything, they turn into a cheap garage door's worst nightmare. Whacking tennis balls against the door all day, up and down every time they ride a bike. You dreamy young'uns might have the energy to start a family, but that rusty avocado green aluminum garage door that came with your house is too old for this jazz. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Modern, insulated garage doors are built to stand up to family life. They resist dents, they don't ring like a gong when you whack them with a puck, and they go up and down, super quiet, as many times as your kids change their minds. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll treat you like family. Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better. MoBetterGarage.com.
What separates advanced hair from every other joint around? First off, advanced hair stands by the results, and their before and afters are second to none. With advanced hair, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Secondly, advanced hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that's hard to find elsewhere. It's Mark Aram here. I've been to their facilities, checked it out. Amazing stuff going on at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Quick, simple, and easy. And the best part about this, guys, Advanced Hair's summer saving event going on right now will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, call 470-660-HAIR, 470-660-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your new hair guaranteed to grow. Online at advancedhair.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
11:22 on the Mark Arum Show, continuing our team coverage of the big announcement yesterday with President Trump and the Secretary General of NATO. Joining us from London from ABC News, Patrick Ravel. Patrick, good morning. Thanks for your time. Your big takeaways from the press conference we carried yesterday live on the show.
Yeah, Mark, I think this looked like a dramatic shift by President Trump in his approach to the war in Ukraine. He did two things. He announced, firstly, that in 50 days, if Russia has not come to a deal, then the U.S. will impose 100% tariffs on Russia, and in particular, talks about secondary tariffs, which is interpreted generally as meaning he would start targeting countries that are using and importing Russian oil. The second thing, which may be even more significant, is that with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte there, he announced that the U.S. now will send billions of weapons to Ukraine that will be paid for by Europe. And, I think the reason that's a huge shift is that when we look at the past several months, President Trump has repeatedly seemed to threaten that he could even cut off military aid entirely to Ukraine. And now we have him here talking about sending billions of weapons if they are paid for by Europe, and Europe appears happy to pay for them. I think the question about both of these things, though, are the details. And right now, things remain pretty vague. And if these things are as large as they sound, and potentially this is a very big shift from the Trump administration, regardless of whether it will have, and whether we talk about what effect it will have on Russia, it is at least a significant change from President Trump, apparently fueled by his frustration with Vladimir Putin and feeling that he's been strung along for months now by the Russian leader.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago, Patrick, we had Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, unilaterally say he was going to pause sending weapons to Ukraine, and now this stunning reversal.
Well, exactly, yeah. They had paused this shipment of weapons to Ukraine. That in particular, it included these interceptor missiles from Patriot batteries. And one of the things they announced yesterday was also that very soon a number of Patriot batteries will be again supplied to Ukraine. They will come from European countries, which will basically hand over the ones that they currently have and will be backfilled by the U.S. Again, all purchased by NATO countries. And, the numbers are currently confused. President Trump seemed to suggest that there are a significant portion of 17 batteries could go to Ukraine. That seems pretty unrealistic, frankly, given the numbers of Patriot batteries that we know are in existence around the world. But at a minimum, we've heard from the Germans that at least 2 to 3 batteries could go. And, Ukraine currently has around half a dozen, I should say. So, 2 to 3 more is a significant number. I think the real question, though, is when we heard from the Secretary General there, he said that it would also include missiles and ammunition. If it is a significant amount, and this is for the long term, then this is a big change, as you say, by President Trump.
Patrick, going back to the tariffs that President Trump pushed yesterday, saying there was a 50-day window to make a deal, and if that deal isn't reached in 50 days, we would see these severe tariffs. But it wasn't tariffs on Russian goods to in and out of the United States, as you mentioned. It's tariffs on countries that are making deals currently with Russia. Do we have a list of the countries that are currently big trade partners with Russia despite this war going on?
I think this is the key thing, is that ultimately in this press conference that President Trump gave, he was pretty vague about what these tariffs would look like. The countries that are currently importing significant amounts of Russian oil and gas are China, India, Brazil, major global economies and powers. And so one important thing to know is at the same time, there has been this effort in the Senate, pushed in particular by Senator Lindsey Graham. It's a bipartisan effort to pass a very harsh sanctions bill that would do what President Trump was perhaps pointing to. They were saying they were going to put a 500% tariff on any country importing Russian oil, which potentially could be very significant. But President Trump was non-committal on that bill, and there are some people suggesting that he has now tried to preempt it with his own much vaguer proposition of tariffs that will only kick in 50 days. And for now, as we understand it, that much harsher bill that was in the Senate is current and that would have come in much sooner is currently on pause while this period goes on. I think one other important thing to say about the 50-day grace period is, why 50 days? I think if most military experts look at what's going on in Ukraine right now, the expectation is that within around 50 days, roughly 2 months, we will see Russia's summer offensive that's ongoing culminate. It will likely exhaust itself, get as far as it's going to get. And so there's a possibility that President Trump believes that once that offensive ends, particularly if it goes badly, then Putin will be more willing and more ready to start negotiating. But that is, of course, the big if and relies on the offensive going badly. Certainly most military experts don't expect a huge breakthrough by the Russians, but they are, in the meantime, causing huge amounts of damage and costing a huge number of lives on both sides.
Have we? Patrick Gravel, London. Great stuff, Patrick. Thanks. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, tickets to Paul McCartney, yours for the taking, next on The Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
If you're thinking about selling your home this summer, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home hassle-free and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain. The guaranteed offer for Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. Skip the hassle of costly repairs and sell your home stress-free. There's no showings, no open houses, and no waiting or wondering when your home's going to sell. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. I'm Veronica Waters. News this half hour is brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. WSB's top story, the costs of gas, food, and groceries are on the increase once again as inflation jumps to its highest level in 4 months. It comes as President Trump's sweeping tariffs push up the cost of a range of goods, including furniture, clothing, and large appliances.
Except for new and used vehicles, prices were up across the board, led by housing, food, energy, and medical services. Coffee and beef were more expensive, but one bright note, the price of eggs was down 7.2%. Higher inflation's a political hot potato for President Trump, who has also been loudly critical of Fed Chairman Jerome Powell. But rising inflation is likely to curb the Fed's enthusiasm for rate cuts.
Correspondent Jennifer King reports core inflation was 2.9%. The Labor Department says consumer prices rose 2.7% in June in Atlanta and nationwide. Marietta City Schools are weighing the possibility of putting in vape detection systems. The Halo Smart sensors are able to detect the chemicals in vape products. The school board has it on tonight's agenda. A Canton man gets nearly 30 decades in prison for sexually abusing a young girl multiple times last summer. A Cherokee County Superior Court judge sentences 41-year-old Lucas Simon Lucaswan to 29 years in prison for 3 counts of molestation. A witness actually spotted the abuse happening inside a parked car. Residents in Tucker will be paying more to get into city parks.
City council members vote in favor of the resolution, which will raise fees on some recreation locations and activities for the first time in 5 years. City Finance Director Beverly Hilton says, along with the $5 increase and new fee schedule for instructors, there will be a new charge as well.
Adding the turf rental for the athletic fields, we have not had that in the past because this is the first year where we have a turf field available for rental at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Hilton does say that aquatic, facility, and park rental fees will stay put. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
The people of Central Texas just can't get a break from the rain.
Beyond the 6 counties where the 4th of July flooding killed at least 132 people, new evacuations have been ordered for other counties where heavy rains have pushed up river levels.
And now more storms are expected beyond the East Coast. Meantime, they're looking into ways where they can lower some river levels in the area to help speed up the search for victims, which now authorities are saying could take some 6 months to complete. President Trump is putting Russia on notice that it's time to reach a peace deal with Ukraine.
President Trump saying that the U.S. will supply Ukraine with weapons paid for by Europe and giving President Putin 50 days to agree to a deal, effectively to compromise, otherwise threatening secondary sanctions of 100%.
Keir Simmons says Trump made the statement during a meeting with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte at the White House yesterday. And later in the day, Ukrainian President Zelensky said he had a good phone call with Trump and thanked him for his willingness to support Ukraine. Runoff day is underway in the race for a seat on Georgia's Public Service Commission. Democrats Peter Hubbard and Keisha Waits face off in this statewide race to see who's going to face Republican incumbent Fitz Johnson in November. UGA political scientist Charles Bullock says PSC members play a major role even if you don't know them by name.
They affect every one of us. They set things, particularly, for example, our electricity rates come through them.
And even so, turnout for the race has been very low, with just 0.4% of all Georgia voters casting a ballot. It's 11:33. Live team coverage of traffic and weather starts right now with George Clark in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Yes, we've got some improvements in DeKalb County. That stall that was on I-285 northbound at La Vista Road has cleared, so I-285 northbound's delays are improving through DeKalb. You've got some construction out in Banks County on I-85 northbound. That's north of Highway 441. That's exit number 149. That construction blocks a right lane out there in Banks County. I'm George Clark, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid, high 96. Scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon into the evening hours. Some of the storms may produce locally heavy downpours. Lows tonight in the mid-70s.
It's 93 degrees at 11:34 on 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
I'm disappointed in him, but I'm not done with him, but I'm disappointed in him.
President Trump talking about his relationship with Vladimir Putin. Speaking of President Trump, he's set to announce a big investment in AI and energy. We'll go in depth next on the Mark Arum Show.
Steel Horse Law knows that your bike is made of steel, but your heart is made of gold. If someone causes you to lay your bike down, you deserve the very best from an experienced firm that knows bikers, because they are bikers. Eric Von Hassler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. They're local, so they understand the changes to Georgia law, and you'll meet directly with your attorney, not just an assistant like the mega firms. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Men, are you having problems performing in the bedroom? Do pills like Viagra and Cialis leave you feeling frustrated? Well, now there's new hope for men who suffer from ED and PE problems. Meet Dr. Katz, a specialist in men's health.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Katz with Choice Men's Health. Regardless of your age or medical condition, Choice Men's Health can safely restore your sexual potency. Our customized solutions can eliminate your problem in just one visit. There's no pain, no surgery, and it's affordable.
Guys, don't let the anxiety over your performance get you down. We can get you back in the game. Call Choice Men's Health today to find out how you can eliminate ED on the very first visit. Call 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
It's our 20th anniversary at North Georgia Replacement Windows, and we're celebrating with our biggest sale in company history.
It's Ted and Jonathan. For a limited time, save 25% on beautiful Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows and doors.
Celebrate with us and upgrade your home's energy efficiency, comfort, and curb appeal. Window and door shopping made simple.
Hurry, 25% savings ends July 31st.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
What you walk on in your home should be wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michael, proud founder of Authentic Hardwood Flooring. Your summer vacation is going to be awesome, but coming home to those floors won't be. While you're gone, let our highly trained installers transform your space. Just imagine coming home to beautiful new floors. Our promise is to make your flooring process painless. Our focus is to make it perfect.
Authentic Hardwood Flooring offers high-quality craftsmanship with an exceptional customer experience. AuthenticHardwoodFlooring.com.
You don't want to play games when it comes to your roof. That's why you should call Finley Roofing, the experts who believe manners matter and who will treat your home like their own. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at finleyroofing.com.
11:37 on the Mark Arum Show. Just picked up some sad news. David Gergen has passed away. He was on the show a bunch back in the day. Longtime presidential advisor, served during the Nixon, Ford, Reagan, and Clinton administrations. Later went on to work for CNN. Not sure what happened, but just got word that David Gergen passed away. If I get more details, I will update you. Going to go in depth on President Trump's big announcement in just a second. But, Deborah, again, you've done it. We've got an amazing pair of tickets to give away today.
Yeah, tickets to see Sir Paul McCartney at State Farm Arena on November 3rd.
All right, let's do the ninth caller to Vinny at 404-872-0750. Ninth caller to Vinny at 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Sir Paul McCartney, State Farm Arena, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. Speaking of Vinny, in case you missed it, Vinny, I think with his bagel order today, might have been a fireable offense. I'm going to let the audience determine that in my my Instagram story. You can vote whether or not we should fire Vinny for ordering a turkey, sausage, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel. My Instagram story's up at Mark Arum. Joining us live from Bloomberg News now, Tyler Kendall. Tyler, do you want to vote on Vinny's future with the show after that breakfast order?
I'm not quite sure if I have the expertise to weigh in on that.
All right, you wouldn't order a bacon, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel, though, would you, Tyler?
That does seem a little excessive, but I don't want to offend anybody's bagel choices.
Understood. All right, so this story popped today. President Trump, apparently in Pennsylvania, is going to announce $70 billion in artificial intelligence and energy investments. What do we know about this announcement?
Yeah, and actually, we got an updated number from Senator Dave McCormick's office, who's throwing this AI summit here. I'm here in Pittsburgh. You can probably hear behind me. It's pretty loud because there's a lot of people here. That number has been up to $90 billion in investments. And essentially, this is the way for the Trump administration to show collaboration between the governments, but also really put the focus on investments from the private sector. We are still waiting for some additional details, but an administration official does tell us here at Bloomberg News that we could expect investments ranging from a whole bunch of different things like new data centers, power generation expansion, grid infrastructure upgrades, AI training programs, apprenticeships, things like that, as the U.S. really does try to bolster its position in what's become an AI race. And there's a lot of different threads that we could pull on here, but we know that this is something that President Trump has tried to prioritize with a slew of executive orders, naming his own AI czar, David Sachs, for example, who's joining us on Bloomberg Television momentarily. There's been a lot of initiative leading up to this event, and we're still waiting for those additional details when he takes the stage later on this afternoon.
I think you might have already answered my next question, but these billions of dollars, this is taxpayer money or this is private funding that's going to go into this investment?
This is going to be from the private sector,
Okay.
and we're seeing many companies slated to invest, such as Blackstone, for example. We're reporting that they're going to unveil a $25 billion investment in data centers and energy infrastructure. You're going to hear a lot about those tech companies like Meta, which yesterday announced its pledge to expand AI data centers in a way that we really haven't seen before, in a really substantial way. Other private sector companies here include BlackRock. Palantir is a name that comes up a lot. But then also I'll point you to the fact there's a lot of energy companies here like Exxon and Chevron, for example, because the other side of this conversation is talking about the energy needs to really support what is a growing AI power grid.
I mean, so much energy is used by these data centers, and AI is only going to further press that. I probably know the answer to this question as well when it comes to the energy investment. Most likely not green energy, solar, wind, etc.
Well, I will tell you that I actually spoke to the head of the American Petroleum Institute earlier this morning, Mike Summers, who said that he actually does think it's going to take a little bit more of a holistic approach. And that's somebody in the industry who's lobbying for oil. And that's really because we are seeing such a surge in demand. So perhaps there will be room here going forward for these alternative forms of energy. I also did, though, sit down with the Energy Secretary, Christopher Wright, moments ago before I came on the phone with you, who said that the administration is really trying to prioritize this idea of deregulation so that they can continue to drill and ultimately get more oil to power this. And this really is a big catalyst for them because there is such a surge in demand from artificial intelligence. And at the moment, the U.S. can't meet it. But he did sound optimistic that they will be able to.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. The electric demand we're going to see in the coming decades is going to soar. Tyler Kendall, Bloomberg News. Great stuff, Kendall. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go. Tyler Kendall, Bloomberg News. All right, so that's a big story, and it's not taxpayer money with that $90 billion investment. It's going to be investor money. All right, joining us now on the Mark Arum Show from ABC News, Will Staken. Will, we've been monitoring the Jeffrey Epstein story, even from beyond the grave. He is grabbing headlines. Any chance we're going to see this story evaporate over the next couple of days?
Well, I think, talking to some of these, MAGA influencers, and these are some of the most loyal and fierce supporters of the president, they're going to make sure this doesn't go away. They view this as a core issue, for their support of the president and his administration. And it's not just, it's kind of bigger than Jeffrey Epstein. It's, a lot of these folks think that and believe that there's elites around the world and especially in the country that have been getting away with, heinous crimes for years, and that Donald Trump would be the one to, unveil that and hold people account. And so now that, Donald Trump and the Attorney General are saying, in terms of Jeffrey Epstein, there's nothing to see here, let's move on, they're going to revolt. This is a core belief for their support, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
What has the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said, and why aren't these MAGA influencers believing what she's saying?
Well, I think what they're believing is it's kind of been all over the map. If you recall, back in February, the Attorney General at the White House, where a few of these MAGA influencers were invited for an event, she showed up to the event and handed out binders with the words Epstein Files Phase 1. And, there was nothing really new in there. It turned out to be, at least from talking to the folks that were there, the influencers that were there, it turned out they felt like it was a publicity stunt and they felt duped. Then a few weeks later, the Attorney General was saying that they'd be releasing documents soon. And, there's a truckload of documents that is going to be backed up to the FBI, and that the client list is, on my desk to review. And then now all of a sudden, weeks and weeks later, the Attorney General, based on the review, is saying, look, there's nothing else to see. We're going to move on. They feel duped. They feel like there's something more going on here. And so I can't see it. I can't see them stopping.
Will Staken from ABC joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. Dan Bongino did not show up to work on Friday, but did show up to the office yesterday. Does that mean he is going to stay in the organization and maybe bury the hatchet with Pam Bondi?
Well, I think we're going to have to see. I mean, from what we were told, things were really heated last week. Bongino comes from this MAGA influencer world, and so his credibility, he's going to have a career beyond the White House, and his credibility with the base is obviously something deeply important to him, and he has been one of these folks for years who has been vocal about Jeffrey Epstein, vocal about wanting to get the information out there. And my understanding is he's just been completely upset and infuriated by how this has been handled overall by the administration. And so, yes, while he showed up, yesterday, we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, a lot of moving parts right now, a lot of hurt feelings, and a lot of people, screaming from the rooftops on the internet, and it's going to keep continuing, I think.
Final question for you, Will. Is there anything Congress can do to get these files released?
Well, it's funny you say that, because before Kash Patel, who's now the FBI director, got that role, he was demanding that Republicans, do something in Congress to get the Epstein files and get the, subpoena and issue subpoenas and to launch an investigation. And, certainly the Oversight Committee could launch an investigation, but you're not seeing that, right now. The bottom line is the files and what we know and what has been investigated is in the hands of the Attorney General, the FBI director. They have the information. And, from what we've said, from what sources have told us for years, that there really isn't a client list that, a lot of folks have been obsessed with. And so I think that's kind of what's happening. It's almost like the dog caught the car here. And, the folks that have been claiming that there's all this incriminating evidence that needs to be released, maybe they got inside, and that's just not the case.
Will Staken, ABC News. Will, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
1147 in the Coolray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. You've got some construction that slows you down out in Banks County on I-85 northbound. That's one left lane blocked just north of Highway 441, exit 149. Then you've got volume slowing you down in the city. I-75, 85 in both directions a little slow. I-75, 85 southbound slow from 17th Street down to I-20. I-75, 85 northbound slow from University Avenue up to Freedom Parkway. I'm George Clark, 95.5 WSB.
You're by the pool.
You're relaxing.
You're sipping a drink.
Someone brings you a towel.
Adjust the umbrella.
Sound like a fantasy?
It's not.
This is Megan from Grayson, Georgia. I just won $1,000 from WSB.
WSB's $1,000 Thursdays this Thursday.
Listen for the keyword at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and 12, 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
Enter the keyword at WSBRadio.com or the WSB app.
I just put the keyword in, and oh my God.
Win $1,000. Get all the info at WSBRadio.com.
Thank you.
$1,000 Thursdays
from 95.5 WSB.
where Atlanta wins.
We're all getting long in the tooth, friends. Am I right? What about your heating and cooling systems? Are they aging? Well, let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. Reliable Heating and Air, licensed, bonded, and insured. Amazing service. I can tell you firsthand, Reliable is the best. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just amazing coverage for as low as $14.99 a month. And next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. So protect your aging heating and cooling system with the amazing folks at Reliable Heating and Air. Just $14.99 a month gives you amazing peace of mind. Get all the info and schedule a consultation online at ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com. Don't wait until your aging systems go kaput. Get your protection now at ReliableAir.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Hey, now's the time of year you're really enjoying that deck, I bet. Grilling food, sitting out relaxing, having friends over, good times. Dave Baker here from my deck experts, Ben Hill Renovations. I get it though, if you're still dragging your heels a bit on getting a new deck, I know you want to make sure you find the right builder so you can upgrade your outdoor living space correctly and within your budget. So here's a few things to consider when selecting a builder for your deck. You'll want someone who will build your deck up to future county and city code requirements. You'll want a builder who'll pull a permit for the work. Yes, the builder will need a permit, and pulling a permit now saves you headaches in the future. You'll also want different options, styles, types of wood, and colors to choose from. You'll get all that at Ben Hill Renovations, plus superior craftsmanship from their 60 years of experience, and your job will be backed by their workmanship warranty. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, save big on fresh Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts. They're only $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Don't be fooled by the big box brands. Window Comfort's exclusive window line is custom built for Georgia weather, installed by in-house pros and guaranteed never to fog. With factory direct pricing, it's affordable for everyone. Go to windowcomfort.com for real quality that lasts.
Better prices, better views. Window comfort, meant just for you. Window comfort.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Happy 79th birthday, Linda Ronstadt. Deborah, Linda Ronstadt. Where does she fall in the rock and roll pantheon?
One of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. I love Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah. See, I trust your judgment when it comes to music. I do not trust Vinny's judgment when it comes to bagel orders. Getting crushed. It looks like you're getting fired, Vinny, according to the Instagram poll. In my story on Instagram, at Mark Arum, you can vote whether or not Vinny should keep his job after ordering a turkey, sausage, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel. So go ahead and cast your vote. It's not looking good for you,
This
Vinny.
is blasphemy.
Congrats to James in Sandy Springs, a.k.a. Sweet Jimmy P. He won a pair of tickets to see Paul McCartney this November at State Farm Arena, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show. I forgot about that guy. Thank you, Longo. Deborah, I got one more story for you. It has nothing to do with music, but it took place in Wisconsin, so I'm going to let you talk about it. It's a bear attack in Wisconsin. A northwestern Wisconsin woman critically injured after coming across a bear near her home.
A 69-year-old woman was attacked by a black bear in Comstock, Wisconsin over the weekend. She was able to call 911 and was eventually transferred to a hospital in St. Paul, Minnesota. She's now stable. Neighbor Brian Sommerfeld says he's noticed more bears in the area.
We really respect them, but I could see how they could sneak right up on you. Can't hear them.
Local DNR wardens and U.S. Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services staff responded and found a cub in a tree, but no sign of the cub's mother. They don't know why it attacked and also say that black bears displaying aggressive behavior are an elevated risk for repeating the behavior. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Is that Comstock? Is that near where you grew up in Wisconsin or no?
No, I am from Madison. Comstock is actually closer to Minneapolis, so closer to Minnesota.
I can't remember. Is it brown, lie down, black, fight back, attack, and then white, you're dead? Is that like a polar bear?
Good night.
Yeah. Good night. White, good night. Anyway, all right. So you didn't have bears growing up in Madison.
Not in Madison, but if you went to like your friends' cabins in the north, chances are you'd see them up there.
Yeah, I didn't have bears when I was growing up, but now there's bears all over Connecticut. I'm very salty about that.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Tapioca Pudding Day, and tapioca is the starch used. Tapioca pudding comes from the cassava root, which is native to Brazil. And legend has it that tapioca pudding was created by housewife Susan Stavers, and she used the cassava root brought by a sailor to make pudding for him.
A sailor.
A sailor.
I don't mind tapioca pudding. It's an acquired taste because of the consistencies.
Right.
Really, really funky.
Yeah. Kind of like boba tea, right?
Yeah, a little like boba.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of people turn their nose up, but I'm a big rice pudding guy with cinnamon on that. You can put cinnamon on rice pudding, just not on a bagel, Vinny. Goodness gracious.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star
I know
of
I
the Show?
promised you one, Longoria, but it's going to be honorable mentions today. Longoria gets one for playing my old rejoin music. Let's do that again. That was fun. Honorable mentions, Scott Slade joined us live. Will Staken from ABC News. Patrick Reeville in London. Rory O'Neill. Tyler Kendall from Bloomberg. Dee Anderson, the Cornelia city manager, and Jonathan Roberts, the police chief of Cornelia, all get honorable mentions. Only one star of the show today. Got word from my mom last night that my beloved 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Santo, passed away. Ronnie Santo, she was a former nun, and then met her husband and went into teaching. And she's one of those teachers that you'll never forget. And you know, she ignited my love of writing. And I, looking back, like without Mrs. Santo in 6th grade, I don't know what I would have done. So she was an amazing woman, an amazing educator. And for that reason, she gets today's star of the show solo. I'll make good tomorrow, Longo. You'll get one. I didn't even get one, and I bought Benny's crap bagel. That's how important Mrs. Santo was to me, that I didn't even get star of the show for enabling Vinny's bagel selection. All right, big stuff tomorrow. More Sir Paul McCartney tickets. Update the top local stories. You know what you're going to get tomorrow. Social media, go vote and save Vinny's job on my Instagram story, at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Tuesday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Scamsters are conning people that they've got special deals on your pay TV service, streaming services, internet services. And what are they telling you? You need to sign up through them, buy their gift cards, and then you get a cheaper deal. The whole scam is bogus. There are different people doing it. Doesn't have one exact method of operation. Be careful.
Hey y'all, Linda Beaver here, and summer starts now at Beaver Toyota. The trucks have been rolling in and we're loaded up with fresh inventory. Road trips, beach days, or just cruising, we have the perfect Toyota for your summer adventure. Get huge savings, low financing, plus Beaver benefits include lifetime powertrain warranty, lifetime oil changes, lifetime loaner cars, and more. The best selection, the best deals, but when they're gone, it's over. Summer starts now at Beaver Toyota, always providing you a world-class experience.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Veronica Waters. The news this hour at noon is brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. WSB's top local story. Not sure if it was a bee that disrupted Queen Bee's fans after her Atlanta finale show, but it was an unfortunate end to a fun night of music for some Beyonce fans.
Crowds flooded into the Vine City MARTA station as thousands were leaving